Hello? Oh, hey! I have something I've been dying to talk about, so welcome to my first video. Come sit, get cozy. We're gonna be here for a while. Why not start my first video with a disclaimer? So, fun fact, I've been making this video for a little while, and just now I looked up the Last Window documentary about their art process again and found a very recent video from Dungeon Chill about Hotel Dusk and The Last Window, and I panicked. I wasn't expecting anyone else to be making a Hotel Dusk video in 2026. I really started thinking, oh, should I just scrap the video? I got really worried about stepping on toes? I don't know. I guess I thought it seemed rude. And then after I thought about it, I realized it's literally fine. People make videos about the same thing all the time. Nobody's gonna arrest me. Probably. I'm an artist, and I'm interested in making videos about art and culture that I find interesting, and Hotel Dusk really grabbed me and made me want to yap for hours about it. So I've decided to just keep going. We're different people with different ideas about things. It's not just going to be the same thing twice. Hey, maybe this means we're in a DS mystery game renaissance. Let me know your favorite DS mystery game. I have my eyes on Teresia at the moment, and it looks kind of scary. I love a scary DS game. What is this? I don't think this is the same game. Hello? And most importantly, in this video I will not be telling you anything about The Last Window, cause I haven't played it. You can find discussion of that in Dungeon Chill's video. Hi! I love your video about Vampire a lot. This is a video about my time with the game, my interest in the art and characters, and also just the stuff I found on the internet while researching it that made me laugh. There's a lot of it. I also love a tangent, so strap in for that. So, that being said, Hotel Dusk is a DS game that came out in 2007, and that I, a huge DS kid, completely missed. Recently I've been enjoying finding out about DS games I never even knew existed, and slurping them up. Hotel Dusk seemed right up my alley, so it was one of the first I went for when choosing old games to play, and I ended up playing it in short bursts over Christmas, which is pretty fitting. Despite it being Christmas, Hotel Dusk ended up largely being a sick day game for me. I finished it while coming down from a particularly bad dust allergy flare-up, shout out to Dust Allergy Nation. What can I say, traipsing around a beige hotel talking to strangers and sniffling my face off just felt right. Gave it a kind of surreal quality. I also went to the hospital a record number of times while playing Hotel Dusk for myself and for my family. I hope my copy isn't cursed. So a lot of this game was played in hospital. Mostly waiting rooms, don't worry. We all have our own idea of what makes a game cozy, and I think this game hits the mark for me and a lot of other people. I found it quite relaxing. You really settle into a routine, patrolling the hotel and seeing what's up with people, bugging them when they're minding their own business. You know, the usual stuff you do at a hotel. I think the pace I played this game at might have skewed my perception of it a bit. It's not a very urgent game anyway, but it probably felt longer than it was. The way I played it gave it kind of the pacing of the middle of a Columbo episode, but like forever. It's actually pretty short. When I looked at the long play, I was like shocked at how quickly everything happened. Just out of interest, I looked it up on How Long to Beat and ooh, an IQ test. And I could book a hotel. Look at that shower curtain. No, apparently this is a 15-hour game. The long play is 10 hours though, so I have no idea how Long to Beat gets its figures. Maybe Hotel Dusk attracts slow gamers. Relatable. Since I have no concept of time, I have no idea how many hours in total I took with it. Probably a little over actually. I like to dally in games. I like to hang out. I like to walk up and down so I can listen to the footstep sound effects. I wonder if there's a playtime add-on for the DS. Hello, apparently you can just see this in the activity log. I have never opened the activity log in my life. How have I spent 53 hours in the camera app? What was I doing for 7 hours in Nintendo 3DS Sound?
You know what?
That's adorable. I knew how to make one sound. You're welcome.
I like chocolate Cheerios and my favorite colour is green turquoise. What's that? Because I love green and I love blue. Bye.
Bye. Was somebody saying I love Peppa Pig in the background? So, apparently I spent 13 hours and 8 minutes with Hotel Dusk. Don't know how I ended up playing less time than the how long to beat estimate, but more time than the long play. Maybe my short burst technique sped me up. I'm not gonna say short burst technique anymore. Anyway, each chapter is really nicely sectioned if you want to play in bites like I did, and the game gives you a little quiz about the chapter you just played at the end. I love a little quiz. More games should have a little quiz at the end of each section. I feel like books should have a little quiz at the end of each chapter. It would keep me engaged. This video is going to be split into two halves that I'm calling the art section and the feelings section. In the art section, I'm going to be gushing about how the game was made and making the assets you'll see throughout the video, while also talking about the gameplay, puzzles, the music, everything else. I knew immediately that I wanted to try the art style and the process as well. I want to see how long I can rotoscope before I start crying. For that, I'm going to be using this very helpful little documentary clip. I don't know exactly where it's from, I'll have to see, about the making of Hotel Dusk's sequel, The Last Window. For game footage, I'm using this long play recorded by Geekmaster on the World of Long Plays channel. I'd recommend it if you'd like to see how the game plays without me yapping all over it. Thank you, Geekmeister. In the feelings section, I'm just going to be going on about the things that really got me when I played it, the stuff I enjoyed about the writing, and some discussion of the themes. I love a good theme. This video is basically me wringing all the enjoyment I can out of a game I've already finished, but still think about quite often, and hopefully you'll enjoy the adventure through my DS, and also random web pages and knickknacks and anecdotes. I'm here to have fun. Along the way, we'll take many detours and get distracted by literally everything. This is what the internet's for. I love finding stuff and gawking at it. I am a sentimental sap, so if you're also a sentimental sap, you'll probably like this game, and I think you should go and give it a try before watching this video. It's kind of a victory lap, which means I'm gonna spoil most things about the game. If you want to experience it before watching, you can either play it yourself or watch someone else play, like the long play. If not, I hope you enjoy listening to me talk about it for like way too long. Hotel Dusk is a game about an ex-cop named Kyle Hyde, who we learn is a travelling salesman staying for a night at a hotel in its famous Wish Room after Christmas in 1979. Good year. I wasn't there. Yep, that's right. This is a classic New Year's game. His company runs something of a side gig, finding things for people. That's what Kyle is there to do. Find a list of items for a mystery client. He's also searching for his old police partner, Bradley. Every chapter ends with a wistful little mention of him. It's very romantic. Kyle also learns that someone stayed at the hotel under his name already. Another mystery. So begins our investigation into Hotel Dusk and its strangely named rooms. Kyle also happens to be the nosiest bitch alive, and throughout the evening he'll be bugging everyone at the hotel to get to the bottom of several mysteries that are really none of his business. You don't so much control Kyle as walk next to him and point at stuff to have him look at. He's very much his own person. My favourite Kyle decision is when he gives you a choice between no and extra no because he doesn't want to talk to someone. Oh, what a good character. I'd now like to consult the sacred text, the Hotel Dusk DS manual. Hotel Dusk is populated by deadbeats, liars and thieves. If you say so. Pas de mort, de menteur et de voleur. I love French. It's been a while. This manual is so in-depth, I don't know who would need all of this when the game explains things while you're playing. That being said, I really appreciate it being there. I feel like we don't have game instructions separate from games like this anymore. You can just look it up, or it's in the game. Paper's expensive. So, to give you a brief, vague rundown of our deadbeats, liars and thieves. Dunning Smith is the owner of Hotel Dusk, and you meet him when you check in. He's great. Love him. If Kyle Hyde was staying at my hotel, I too would be stressed out of my mind. Get out of my room! Most game overs in Hotel Dusk are Dunning getting fed up with you and kicking you out. I truly don't blame him. Louis DeNono is the hotel's bellhop and general assistant who runs around the place. He has a history with Kyle. He got arrested and a bunch of awful things happened to him, and now he's here. This poor guy. Rosa Fox, incredible name, is the hotel's maid and the hardest worker ever. I love Rosa a lot. Look how cute she is. I wish only good things for Rosa. I trust her with my life. You have definitely encountered a Rosa in your life. Kyle is obsessed with saying that Rosa scurries and scuttles everywhere, which I do take issue with. I know this woman has a very measured step. Melissa Woodward is a silly kid that I immediately felt a kinship with, for no reason in particular. Melissa's sad because her dad said they'd meet her mother at Hotel Dusk, but she doesn't seem to be here. I'd be mad too, I get it. She makes me laugh. She's my favourite on vibe alone. No, it doesn't say anything about me that I'd love to hang out and do puzzles with this kid. Kevin Woodward is Melissa's long-suffering father. He is going through it at all times. That's kind of his thing. Maybe one of the more tragic characters in the game, if I'm being honest. No respect from Kyle though. Jeff Angel is a guy who sucks. That's kinda his whole deal. Good name though. What a lucky last name to have. Jealous. I would be annoyed if I had to talk to Jeff too, so Kyle and I are on the same page. These two have some really good conversations. Helen Parker is a superstitious old lady with an eye patch that I think I've kind of fallen in love with. Kyle, how dare you complain about being asked to walk her to the restaurant? That's an honor. I'd treat her better. She wanted to stay in Kyle's room, the wish room, because she has a wish she'd like granted. Mysterious. Martin Summer is an author who got famous for one book in particular, The Secret Word, and is now struggling to write other books on the same level. He's also the most annoying man on planet Earth. I think he's actually one of my favourite characters in the game because of it. Where Melissa's my favourite on vibes, he's my favourite on substance. Unfortunately. He's insufferable, he sucks. What a good character. I can't wait to get into it. But later, Iris doesn't appear to have a last name. All you need to know is that Iris is an actress, and I think she's really funny. She and Kyle start off on the wrong foot and end up being very petty and rude to each other in a way I enjoyed a lot. Something about a frenemy just feels so cozy. At some point in the game, I fully forgot why they even disliked each other, which only made their conversations funnier. I too have flippy out hair. Big fan. Mila is a mysterious young lady listed on the Hotel Dusk wiki as 20 to 21. A shocking discovery. I spent most of this game thinking she was like 15. She just has that awkward teen lurking at a family gathering energy to me. Mila arrived at the hotel and nobody knew what to do about it, so Rosa's putting her up in her room for the night. How lovely of her. She's mute and will only communicate with Kyle via nodding and writing in his notebook. I love this about her. Let's take ibuprofen together. On the phone are your trusty buds Rachel and Ed, who periodically check in with Kyle and kinda act as his way to look stuff up. The director didn't want Kyle to have access to too much information in the game, so he has a pager to let him know when they're calling. He can then ask them to find things out for him. Ancient technology. Maybe we should bring back the pager. Every time I see that Bradley's full name is Brian Bradley, it scares me. Did I mention that Kyle shot Bradley? He did, it's right here in the manual. It's also the game's opening prologue. Like I said, Kyle used to be a cop. He's your classic gruff detective type. It's a trope that can quite easily grate on me, but I really liked Kyle. Maybe it's because he's steeped for a while. Throughout the whole game, I was thinking, oh boy, I hope Kyle doesn't rejoin the Force at the end. And he didn't. Whew. There's your first spoiler of many. Watch out. I love thinking about the meeting where they decided what to put in the manual. Why not have a weirdly laid out prologue in there? Wonderful. Now here is a little list of the game's mysteries that I can remember from like the early days. What happened to Bradley? Kyle believes he's still alive even though he shot him. And also, why did he do that? What's up with the crime syndicate, Niall? How are they doing? Are they still into art theft? Who is Mila, and why is she wearing Bradley's bracelet? A girl went missing 10 years ago and the hotel shut down for a bit. Is that story true or just a rumour? A painting went missing. Way more important than a child going missing, I'm sure you'll agree. Who and where is Melissa's mom? Why does Helen have an eye patch? Is she free on Tuesday? What is up with the vending machine? Why does Dunning get mad when we break into his room and all of the staff areas? It's literally fine. Hotel Dusk caught my eye because of the really strong art direction, of course, but it's also one of the glorious titles for the DS that have you hold it like a book. Like brain training. I love those. Like a lot of puzzle games on the DS, it makes use of the console's gimmicks. We're snapping it shut, we're tapping it, we're scrubbing the screen with the stylus, or your finger if you lost the stylus. You know the moves. When I tell you I was so convinced this game would require blowing into the mic, I did it whenever I got stuck, even when it didn't make any sense at all. And it ended up having a grand total of 0 blowing into the mic puzzles. How embarrassing. DS blowing trauma. Hello, it's late, so I have to be quiet. But I realised quite late on in the process that there were two concepts rather than characters that I didn't really introduce at the beginning, so I've decided to go back and add them in quickly. Pay attention because they'll be important later. The first is Nile, a crime syndicate that mostly does art crimes, the most profitable crimes. I would get in there if I knew where to look. Are you an art criminal? Please email me, don't text me. I mean, you could probably text me if you're an art criminal. Anyway, remember Nile. And the second is the famous dead artist Osterzone. He will come up. Everybody loves Osterzone and his paintings. Very mysterious. They keep finding new ones. Okay, that's it, I think. We're done. Looking through the Hotel Dusk manual gave me the bug, and I wanted to get out a load of my old manuals and booklets. Would you be interested in seeing me do a flip through of my favourites? Because I have a few of them. I love these things. You get a couple of inserts in Switch cases, but it's such a difference from DS games and like PSP game boxes. My copy of Blue Reflection 2 had an anime ad in it. That's kind of fun. I used to love buying a game at a shop and then watching them get out the little booklet thing and the cartridge from the bag and then slot them in. Oh, it's like, that's ultimate nostalgia for me.
There's loom bands in this one.
I became interested in this game for two reasons. One, I briefly thought it was a Suda 51 game. It's not. And two, the art is really unique and cool, and I got really curious about it. To address the first point, because it's kind of a weird one, I became interested last year in playing through Grasshopper Manufacture, Suda 51 Studios' back catalogue, because a friend told me about a game he'd played as a kid called Flower, Sun and Rain that he wasn't sure had even been real. And that's a hell of a pitch for someone like me. I'm in. Flower, Sun and Rain is a Grasshopper Manufacture game. It's their only DS title that I'm aware of. When I was looking into the game online, I saw another game get mentioned alongside it, Hotel Dusk. As a general fan of DS-era games and puzzle games in general, I got pretty interested in it and decided I wanted to play it as soon as I could. Hotel Dusk, or Wishurun Tenchi no Kyoku, was published in 2007 by Sing, who also made DS adventure game classic Another Code. And I learned Little King's Story for the Wii. That's a great game. Small world. I still haven't played Flower, Sun and Rain, by the way, because I want to play it with that friend, and we haven't got our shit together enough to find the time yet. I'm vowing that we do it this year. Promise me, across the screen, we'll do it. From the Suda 51 games I have played since then, though, I feel like Hotel Dusk isn't nearly abstract enough to feel like it fits in with that catalogue. It has a certain mundanity to it that I'm absolutely not using as an insult. It's interested in the human element of crime and tragedy in such a straightforward way. I think it contrasts nicely with games like The Silver Case, for example, which really just goes for it with the weird, impossible, maybe supernatural, bloody evil sex crimes. That's a good game. Hotel Dusk is a lot more tame in comparison. It's less voyeuristic. Hotel Dusk is about past crimes. Nothing salacious and terrible is happening in front of your eyes in Hotel Dusk, and I feel like that's an important part of how it presents its themes to you. While we're at it, it's also not really anything like Twin Peaks. I think Kyle Hyde would roll his eyes at Agent Cooper and then, like, fall in a hole or something. He would if I was controlling him. I did also just remember that the game opens with someone being shot, but for the most part in the game, nothing, like, intense happens. Unless you consider a child losing a doll intense, which sometimes it is. We're not killing the past in Hotel Dusk, we're sadly reminiscing on it to the middle-aged man who just broke into our room. I've just learnt that Sing unfortunately went under in 2010. That's such a shame. Fate bankrupt. Oh my god. They had such a strong little library of games. You should definitely check their wiki out if you're curious, because there's some good shit in here. I clicked through to Glass Rose and wow, it looks incredible. I desperately want to know what's going on here. It's going on the list. Oh, I see. Clever. They did a DS Monster Rancher too. That's nuts. I've got to send this to my friend who loves Monster Rancher. Or is that Slime Rancher? I have to check. They also have this other DS game I've never seen before called Again. This is very Kill the Past. Not Jonathan Weave. Oh, Weaver. Cara Delevingne? Whoa, Illuminati. It's also about a hotel, that's so funny. This came out in 2009, so it was definitely after Hotel Dusk. It's kinda giving the Da Vinci Code. I did find that there were a couple of videos about Sing that probably go more in depth about the studio than me gawping and going, ooh, cool game, and haha, Da Vinci Code. I definitely want to play some of these. There's a game for the Switch and various other platforms called Dear Me, I Was, that Taisuke Kanasaki, the director and character artist on Hotel Dusk, worked on with his beloved rotoscope style, and people do consider an addition to the Hotel Dusk Another Code franchise? Cinematic universe? I'd love to check it out and see how it looks. The still I've seen is gorgeous. Hey, I'm editing, and the mention of Twin Peaks made me think about David Lynch's Daily Number again. David Lynch's Daily Number was such a big thing for me and my friends while we did exams. We used to guess the number every day, and I came second. Please be proud of me. I'm proud of myself. What was that about? Does anybody know? Why did he do that? I think about it every so often and go, huh? Anyway, back to the art being unique and cool. For the game's rotoscoped style, Sing hired models from the Japanese modeling agency Avocado, which is such a cute name, and you can go on their website today to enjoy this giant picture of an avocado and cower in fear as a wall of babies is built in front of your eyes. Good Christ. I'm blurring this a bit because it's pictures of children, and I also have no idea if I can show pictures of people signed to an agency, but if you want to see the full glory of this website, please go and check it out. This might be my new favourite website. I really recommend taking a scroll through their Works tab. Their variety is insane. They represent a whole host of different people and book such a wide range of jobs. My favourites are the fashion show pictures. There's so many things on here I have to check out, like this, and oh.
「私たち人類が登場するはるか以前に、この地球上を支配していた恐竜。その中でも近年特に注目されているのが、このポリエザウルスです。」
There's a whole herd of them.
作った職人の下積みの有無にかかわらず、老いの繁栄はとどまることを知りませんでした。しかし、調子に乗りすぎたポリエザウルスは乱獲の対象とされてしまったのです。こうして徐々にホリエザウルスは数を減らし、おとなしい個体のみが。でも最終的には隕石がぶつかって全部滅びました。
Holy fuck. Damn it. It is quite bizarre to me that these models aren't credited at the end of the game. I feel like they probably should be. People have been speculating for a while about who exactly each character is based on. It's easier to find this out about the sequel, The Last Window, because of the documentary I mentioned. It seems like common knowledge that the models are from Avocado, though. It's written on the wiki with no reference to anywhere, which I love. Cite your sources. In all my endless optimism, I was planning to rotoscope my talk sprites for this video. I've decided to scale that back a bit so that I can actually finish it before summer. Or at least my birthday. I don't know if you knew, rotoscoping is hard. It's not so much tricky as it is time-consuming. Repeating all the details you picked to draw is really annoying. There's a reason I'm not an animator. I have no patience. I already respected the artists who worked on the game, but my god, this stuff is an ordeal. In the Last Window documentary, Taisuke Kanasaki, aforementioned director and character designer, takes us through the process of making character animations for the game.
For this title, we used the same technique as we used for the last title, Hotel Dusk. This style of animation is known as rotoscoping. This method involves first taking a photograph of a person and then tracing their movements. The advantage of this technique is that you can recreate characters' movements in an incredibly realistic way.
Why are we zooming so close in on his face? Back up a bit. This part where he talks about getting outside help and then not liking the images he gets back because they're not consistent with his style for the other portraits.
It's a very complicated task, and of course, it's not something I could have done alone. So I got outside help, for instance, asking external production companies to help out. But by getting outside help, there will always be a degree of difference between your images and theirs. If the images aren't in line with those I've drawn, the overall balance is going to suffer. That's why I always had to rework those images, adjusting them so they matched my own. This task was done entirely by me. I'd say to complete this task took more than half a year.
It's me as fuck. This is relatable control freak content. Me too, sir. He says it took them more than half a year. Christ. That's a level of meticulous I can really get behind. Art takes time. Scream it from the rooftops! We can see that before any animation takes place, they take one picture of their model, and the artist sketches the design over the picture to get their final look. They change details about their model to fit the game's art style, which also helps the characters not look like uncanny nightmare people and end up with something bridging the gap between the initial concept and the model's likeness. Something I didn't initially think of that they do here is after they have the video of the motion, they clip out frames right away. That way they have an easier sequence to animate and clearer keyframes. On my first attempt, I just used the entire video and just ignored some of the more redundant frames and then removed them after. I love to make it way too hard for myself for no reason. This lady here has 9 frames, so that's a good reference point for me. Keep it short and sweet. The choppiness is part of the charm. On the Sprites resource, you can actually find the frames of each animation from Hotel Dusk. It's really handy to have, especially because there's no, mini documentary for it. Okay, quote time. Kanazaki says they take their model's best features and unify them with their image of the character. I presume by best features they mean, most prominent. Good nose, bad eyes. I think that's a really good approach for character design inspired by real people. Look at their prominent features and play around with ratios. The character designs I find particularly effective always use selective detail. Don't draw every element of the design with the same level of detail, especially if you're going to be animating it, and more often in my case, replicating over and over in a comic or something. Good design is design fit for purpose. Everything in Hotel Dusk looks unified because of the sketchy pencil lines and the little motions everyone does while talking. Now, Kanazaki goes through a list of steps in their process, but ignore him because as I see it, the steps are this. Don't actually ignore him, he's good at what he does. 1. Make a sketch of the character you had in mind. 2. Find a model who fits your idea of the character. If you can't find any at the store, homegrown is fine, and take a picture of them. 3. Draw the design again, but over your picture, choosing which elements to keep from each and which to scale back. 4. Take a video of your model performing a simple gesture, preferably with clean lines and energy. 5. Take the most interesting frames of that video and leave out the most similar in-betweens. You just want the keyframes, basically. 6. Rotoscope over those frames using your final design as a reference. Keep your hand light and don't be too precious about how neat it is. We want energy! Kanazaki says that it's specifically to match the, quote, hard-boiled world of the game, which really tickles me. If you say so. 7. Add hatching and tones your character for prominent shadows and clothing. The characters have a white border as well, so they can be placed onto any background and stand out. 8. The hatching is done at the same time as the drawing, but I wanted to single it out because they refer to specifically these lines that we see here as oblique lines, which I, as somebody who wasn't very good at maths, have never heard before. They're slanted diagonally and used to make the art seem more three-dimensional and energetic and alive. Hatching with a little extra purpose than just shading, you know? It's to show motion. I really like it. I don't think it's as intense in the first game. It really feels like they refined everything for the second and got their style down. 9. The animation staff also do a DS check at the end of this process to see if the clip will fit nicely on the screen and look good on the console. I presume you can replicate this by having your canvas match the aspect ratio of the DS screen. Screen size and image quality are always the things that trip me up consistently when drawing digitally. I just want to draw, for God's sakes, I don't care about numbers. Characters in Hotel Dusk vary in how detailed they are across the board. The older characters tend to have more realistic features, like Dunning and Rosa. Nobody looks exactly like the person they're based on. Choices are made about which features to highlight and which to push back, like I said. They, of course, fall into the Bishoujo pit of giving the pretty girls big eyes and less prominent features. Mila looks like a 12-year-old ghost. I kept thinking she was way younger than she was supposed to be. I think I said 15 earlier. I aged her down in this one. I mean, it doesn't help that everyone treats her like a sick baby. Go and have a nap, Mila. You look tired. You look pale. Give this poor girl a jacket. Hello, I've arrived at a tangent. I've become distracted. I looked up Bishoujo for examples and stumbled on Transformers anime girl figures. Literally the second image result. I was obviously curious. This is normally something I would find stupid, and for the most part they're pretty generic, but holy shit, this bumblebee is cute. Look at her. I've been practicing rotoscoping a little, and it's so much more annoying than just normal animation. I never think I'm that impatient until I try animating again, and yep, now I am nowhere near patient enough to animate any more than like twice a month. But I'm always excited to try stuff. Anyone can animate, it just takes the dedication to see it through. That's the hard part. I could do a better freehand line. I decided to practice at first with the Hotel Dusk classic let's take ibuprofen together motion. At first my sketching was very on model, I didn't change much about the subject. My second try I wanted to really go for it and make myself look more like my mascot. I found this way more fun. The previous time I felt a bit on edge the whole time, like someone was looking over my shoulder to check I was working realistically enough. I do also think that trying rotoscoping is a great way to practice art in general. I think tracing over an image can teach you a lot about the way the subject is constructed and get you used to the motions your hands make when you draw something. An exercise I recommend if you feel like your figure drawing is getting stiff is to take some pictures of yourself or a glamorous assistant and practice tracing the poses quickly, then start drawing those poses freehand again. I feel like it helps you loosen up and focus on movement without worrying about losing the overall anatomy. And of course, life drawing. Always do it. Keep doing it. All the time, every day. I wanted to kind of match the game's vibes with my talk sprite, so I did some tests ranging from literally just a picture of me to all the way cartoonish, and landed on this. Ta-da! I've been trying to use Procreate Dreams since I bought it because I used Procreate so much, but honestly for the more simple things, it's way more comfortable to just use Procreate. The sketchy look of the game really reassured me when I slipped into perfectionist mode with my lines. It's literally fine. Be as rough and wonky as you want. Just try it. For a little easy wiggle, I wanted to try using the liquefy tool and just ended up spending ages doing dumb shit. I've never used liquefy before. It's awesome. I ended up sticking to just a handful of rotoscope moments to pepper into the video. It was less time consuming that way. I'm proud of myself for trying. Kinda giving Melissa's big sister. Maybe that's why I like her so much. Twinning. I look after her. I do her stupid puzzle with her. Bitches love to overcomplicate the process by drawing a million detail lines that they will then have to redraw in the next frame. I'm including a few clips here from stuff I made but didn't put in the video as finished animations or pieces of art because I realised it would take me a full calendar year to finish this video if I rotoscoped whole scenes. I went out with a camera with my friend and made her film me doing stuff. Hey, it was a fun day out. Here's me struggling with a real ruler on fake paper because Procreate Dreams doesn't have the line tool that lets you draw straight lines. How did you forget that? This is Procreate Dreams 2! Side note, I would love to see a horror game with realistic rotoscoping because it always looks off in such a good, freaky, scary way. It probably already exists, I'll have to go digging. I know there are some films that are fully rotoscoped and they look delightfully weird. I think off the top of my head, maybe World of Horror is rotoscoped? That rings a bell to me. I'll have to check it out. You have to decide what works best for your brain with rotoscoping. I'm someone who's most comfortable working from my imagination. It's kind of a garbled collage of everything I've ever seen in varying levels of warped detail in there. This means I have a really bad habit of not using reference, or when I do use it, I'll do it kind of like a weird game where I tab out to look at it for a second and then race back to draw what I remember. Aren't brains weird? Use references! I have to smack myself when I start making up details. The best advice for drawing from reference that I've ever heard that I actually internalized was, draw what you see, not what you think you see. Stuff in life looks weird as shit sometimes because perspective is insane. I have very bendy legs and arms, more so than you would expect from legs and arms, so whenever I draw my arm in perspective using a reference of myself, it looks weird. Because my arm bends the wrong way, or at least it looks that way. I don't know. Maybe I've got alien arms. I'm sort of made up of sticks, like an insect. In my first few tries, I think the biggest problem I had was trying too hard to stick to the image underneath, not allowing myself to be messy or wobbly with my lines, my natural state of being, because I was worried the resulting animation would look choppy and bad. When I made my talk sprites, I allowed myself some more leeway, and not only did they take me less time, I had way more fun making them. I think the added design over the top helped make it feel more purposeful for me. Not that practice needs a purpose other than doing the thing you like doing. Now it looks choppy and good. With this process, I was combining what I could see with imagined elements, like the clothing. I think that gives me a good blend and makes the process feel worth it, like I've added my own little touches. I definitely made up more than the Hotel Dusk artists made up. I don't own that hat, but I desperately wish I did. Maybe I'll learn how to crochet or beg one of the people in my life who knows how to crochet to make me one. I'll pay them. Your brain probably works differently to mine. If you're gonna try it too, I'd love to hear how you balance the real and imagined parts of the image. It might help to have your model in the same outfit your resulting character is wearing to cut down on the amount of stuff you're making up on the fly while you draw. I have a couple of friends who can't visualize images at all. I think it's aphantasia? I think it's that. I'm so fascinated that our brains work differently like that. The way we think makes us slip into different habits depending on what kind of person we are, like me ignoring references and running away with my ideas. I presume there are a lot of people who are the opposite. They nail references but feel lost going off just their imagination. It's cool! I miss being in an art studio so bad. 3 people could rotoscope over the same footage and they'd each look different, like the poor people who made art for the last window that got redrawn. Shout out to those soldiers. The way I did these was that I split the animations for speaking into movement and then the resting pose afterwards because I'm using Procreate, which has a layer limit of not very much, and Shotcut, which doesn't like GIFs at all for some reason. It completely lags, it shuts down the whole program. So it's just easier that way. It looks to me like the artist for Hotel Dusk drew the entire resting position rather than just the oblique lines again for the resting pose, just so it really wiggles and keeps your attention. You can see here my resting pose just has the hatching change and it doesn't look as energetic as the game's portraits. I just decided to leave it that way, save a little time, but it's something to consider if you really like the look of the game's wiggles. For my second talk sprite guy, I decided to forego any duplication of my previous lines and see if it still looked coherent. I don't normally pay any attention to collarbones, but Hotel Dusk is big into defined collarbones. Making the next frame of an animation is kind of like spot the difference. I would call my finished result kind of a hybrid technique. It's not true rotoscoping because of my added details being so prominent, but there's definitely the influence of the movement underneath. I'm really happy I gave it a try. This was such a cool experiment. I'd love to do it again and again and like get actually good at it, but maybe it'll be a test of my patience. It would probably be good for me. I implore you to also give it a try. The game's map is just the right size to feel comfortable navigating. Nothing is too far out of reach if you're looking around, and you do a lot of looking around. I did keep forgetting which room was which though, and just like barging in and knocking on doors a lot. The atmosphere is great. The hotel is clearly old and crusty, but I felt comfy and cozy wandering around. It's a place frozen in time. It has a melancholic feeling to it. The colour scheme, the long hallways, the windows you can't really see out of, the impersonal fruit paintings on the wall. I love it. It's a place only Dunning and his staff spend long stretches of time. Everyone else is just a passerby. It actually kind of feels like a nursing home to me, as someone whose life has always been adjacent to nursing homes. Most things, when you zoom in, have a little line of dialogue, however irrelevant they are, which is something that really appeals to me. I don't need Kyle to tell me a fridge is a fridge, but I'm happy that he does. This is my internal monologue when I go anywhere. I have become an adventure gamer. I am clearly no expert in the sound department, but I do have many opinions. Here's a little list of the things I loved about the game's sound design. Crisp footstep sounds. Especially in the underground bit. Footstep noises really boost how much I'm endeared to a game. Does anyone else have this obsession with video game footsteps? I am this close to starting a running tier list of the best footstep noises in games. It's serious. I went to the hospital in a new pair of boots while playing, and they were so loud on the floor, I was so embarrassed. And it made exactly this noise. I did, as well, crack Hotel Dusk out to play while I waited and had the pleasure of trying to explain rotoscoping to my grandma. She didn't get it. Try explaining rotoscoping to your grandma. I dare you. Maybe she'll really take to it. The way the music completely cuts out when you stand in front of a staff door. Why does it do that? It's scary! Text babble. I tend to like text babble more than voices, particularly in a handheld game. I played both Paranormosite games after Hotel Dusk. Crazy choice, by the way. And there's something very cool about the text audio in those games. The silence really fits the tense atmosphere. No complaints there. But the lack of babble did make me sad when I first picked them up. I really miss it when it's not there. I have quite a few voice actor friends too, I'm sorry. Maybe they could do babble noises, I'll have to ask. The soundtrack is so wonderful. I was bopping down the corridors. In the hotel bar, there's a jukebox where you can play any of the game's songs you've previously heard. I spent a good while there just enjoying them all. Love to use the DS. Now, Hotel Dusk is an adventure game, so it features all the classic adventure game stuff. Doing things in a really specific, convoluted order, puzzles that feel like maybe a bit of a reality stretch, writing stuff in a little notebook with your stylus, that sort of thing. Nothing is very difficult in Hotel Dusk. If you get stuck not knowing what to do, just wandering around the hotel for a while and bugging people usually solves your problem. Even playing the game in short bursts over a longer period of time like I did, I don't know if the notebook was entirely necessary for remembering things, but I always appreciated having it to doodle in. I also love Kyle growing a small collection of daughter drawings in it. I love them. I'll treasure these forever. I'm the kind of mild freak who loves adventure game nonsense, even if it's annoying. This game is really low level in terms of puzzle bullshit. It's very reasonable. You have everything you need in walking distance, usually. I actually don't know how much I care if a puzzle is tedious or, dare I say, bad, because we live in an age where I can just look it up if I get stuck. It's a nice safety net. I like when games try stuff and make big swings. I just love seeing what people come up with. I do always try my best without a guide though, and I was generally good when I played Hotel Dusk. I don't love puzzle games because I'm good at them. I'm largely not. I love puzzles in games because I love trying to work things out and exploring and looking at stuff and clicking on everything. A good puzzle in a game will make you feel smart for having done it yourself, however difficult it actually was. I love Layton games, but I've sat there for hours stuck on one puzzle, losing my mind. It's just the experience sometimes. I used to play and watch people play adventure games all the time, and then I would pretend I was Nancy Drew, putting stuff in my inventory and solving mysteries. I'm very fond of the genre. Any scuff is really part of the charm for me. Whenever I finish any sort of puzzle adventure game, I like to look up the puzzles I found difficult or obtuse and see how other people felt about them. Something about people complaining about puzzles being too hard in forums is such a community experience. We are all linked by stupid fucking puzzles. And now for Elky's official most memorable puzzle moments from Hotel Dusk. Helen's fucking coins. I love you, Helen, but don't piss me off. What the hell is this? I swear I was sat doing this for like 20 minutes and I tried the actual solution as a joke. Very clever. I'm not bitter. Going to get adhesive remover to peel a label instead of doing it with your nails like anyone else would. If it were me, Helen would have received several scraps of sticky paper and shards of broken glass delivered via horrible wine hands, and she'd still be thankful. I love you, Helen. Winding a cassette tape with a pencil that you have to go and get from your room because the pen you found in the room with the cassette player doesn't fit into it. I love that. It annoyed the shit out of me when I remembered that Kyle had a pencil in his room. You kind of forget as you're walking around that he has, like, a stash of stuff. It's really good! Giving a girl CPR by smashing the DS screen shut in her face. Poor Mila. A headbutt would definitely wake me up. You can also wake her up here by tapping on her with the stylus, which nets you an ending where Mila doesn't want to leave the hotel with you. You pissed her off, Kyle. Hotel Dusk is a building full of paintings. In particular, lots of paintings of fruit. Kyle likes to note that there are so many paintings of fruit. Later in the game, Kyle goes around the hotel looking for paintings of apples with letters hidden in them to spell out a word, or more specifically, a name. The number of apples in the painting is the place in the word that you put the letter. What do these letters spell out, you ask? Jenny. This is definitely a spoiler, so beware. These paintings are made by Dunning, the owner of the hotel, and hung around the place to remind himself of his kidnapped daughter, Jenny, who went missing years ago. Why did Dunning make and display these paintings? Well, because he's a character in a puzzle game. It's a way of telling the player and Kyle that Jenny's connected to the hotel and to Dunning, and when you learn that it fits with the themes and aesthetics of the game. It's a really silly puzzle, but I'm very fond of it. Good shit. Makes me want an apple. I think one of the first adventure games or like mystery game type things that was on my radar that I really remember as a kid was The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, which I've learned came out in 2014. So that's weird to think about. It's later than I thought. I think it gave me a taste for like drip-fed stories, you know, where you have to fill in the blanks yourself. I recommend it. It's a really good one to go back and play because it's so unique, but now we have a lot of things like it. It feels like the start of something. I really love it, and I loved it when I was a kid, so big recommend. I think my current favourite puzzle mystery type game is Paradise Killer. Ever since it came out, I was obsessed with it and I played it. I've replayed it since. I replayed it when they did an update with like a few things in it that honestly, I loved it so much. I think it's such a cool format and everything hit for me really nicely. It just felt so satisfying and it went to the like depraved depths in a weird way that I enjoy. Kaizen Gameworks, I think, kills it every time they bring out a game. Their most recent one, Promise Mascot Agency, it's not the same kind of game, but it's so good. I love it. Paradise Killer will always be my first and favourite, but I really recommend those two as well. I don't know what kind of video I would make, but I really want to make something about Kaizen Gameworks. I think it might be something to do with the atmosphere and environment because those two games have such an incredible sense of place. Unbelievable. Go and play Paradise Killer right now. Right now. Pause the video, go and play it. Play it twice. Play it for 5 minutes. I don't care. Jump off a bridge. It's fun. It makes your tummy go over. These aren't all the puzzles in the game, but they're the ones that stuck with me and made me laugh. I have an anecdote now about a different adventure game I'd like to share. It's not really anything like Hotel Dusk, but it's always floating around in my brain. I feel like I have to share it whenever I can. Have you heard of a game called Mobius Empire Rising? I wouldn't be surprised if you haven't. It hasn't exactly stood the test of time. You see, when I was younger, I was a big fan of the streaming group Stream Friends, out of which my beloved favourite podcast, Friends at the Table, was formed. Yeah, that's right, it's a reveal, I'm a Friends at the Table fan. Let's go! They introduced me to the gloriously strange Mobius, which I've just learnt has a mostly positive rating on Steam. That's crazy to me. Adventure game fans are a different kind. Quite far into the game, so by this point, you're used to its bullshit.
You don't have to give her your Xanax, do you?
Our dreamy main character, Malachi Rector, it's not a name you forget easily, is in Zurich, and he needs a gift for someone, so he decides to fly home to London to get a pair of earrings and a bottle of wine that he could have bought anywhere, and then he flies back to Zurich to give them to her.
Okay, you need to leave the house.
What?
I need to step out for a moment.
No,
Yes,
you're gonna be so mad,
assuming-
everybody.
Very
You're gonna be
gracious.
so mad.
Do I need to fly back to New York?
Yes!
Yeah. Alright.
Oh my god.
This is a puzzle, by the way. You're just supposed to know to do this. It's a game about international travel, but my god, I have no idea how you're supposed to figure this one out.
Okay, there's other stuff we need, though?
Yes.
That
Now,
lounge serves
so you
nothing.
couldn't
I should see
fucking
what
go
they've
to
got.
a liquor store in fucking Washington, D.C. and get alcohol there? Like,
Or, like, a jewelry store? Like, any
Are
jewelry.
you just gonna get like a loose drink in a cup and just fly
Can I,
after?
excuse me, barkeep, can I get mine to go?
Immaculate bullshit. Nothing in Hotel Dusk is that bad. I just love telling people about it. Thank you, Jane Jensen. When are they gonna make a Mobius 2? I'd be there, I'd play it.
Hard and spiky, rather like Dominique.
Adventure games on the DS in particular make me go a special kind of crazy, and Hotel Dusk is no exception. It feels like most of my stupidity when I played this game was contained in one room at the very end. The basement. At 2 a.m, Kyle Hyde falls victim to the classic trick, walking into a room with one exit and having someone bar the door from outside. Poor Kyle. Unfortunately, he's at my mercy, and I spent a longer time than I probably should have in this room. Kyle does suffocate and die if you take too long in this room. Nothing else in the game is like this. The other game overs, you just get kicked out. I'm so sorry, Kyle. My only complaint for this section actually is that the game over screen for Kyle literally dying is the same as the game over screen for him getting kicked out by Dunning. Come on, give us a death screen. Here is a list of my basement blunders for mostly my enjoyment, but yours too. Kyle has read in a handy basement book that pencil shavings can increase conductivity, and ooh, what do you know, there's a faulty outlet he needs to plug something into. Perfect, what a coincidence. Let's make pencil shavings. The solution to this puzzle is to use the nail file in the drawer to shave the pencil and get your electricity dust to make the computer work. Because I had been clicking on everything in the room, when I had Kyle look at the drawer above, I got a little "it's hard to breathe in here" interlude. I then moved on and forgot to look in the correct drawer, and spent so long trying to find a way to get Kyle to crush a pencil with a hammer before he suffocates in the secret Sims art slave basement. It didn't work, because Kyle's a quitter. The hammer's not even for this room. What a role model. Always keep a hammer in your pocket for later. I feel like it would take ages to nail file a pencil and get enough shavings to do this. Hey, maybe if it were me in that basement, I would be fucked. But Kyle got out, so it must be fine. It's just gonna draw on the nail file. I hate it.
That's a bad sound.
There's no pencil shaving. He used a metal one, maybe it's that. It's not going very well.
We have like sandpaper.
No, that's not the point. I would be dying in the basement, I think.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Ready? Oops.
Oh.
Missed. Kind of just a paste.
Um.
Well, there's no more pencil.
Oh, do you want me to get another one?
No, I think we've had it. It's fine. It was an experiment.
Okay.
I think basically pencil shavings apparently increase conductivity, but I'm just kind of making a mess.
Oh.
Well, my method works better than that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, pencil lead is
pencil.
graphite, and graphite is a conductor.
Well, yeah, it would work. It's just it wouldn't work with a nail
Oh, yeah.
file. Haha.
Ah.
This one's my favourite for the journey I went on, only to end up just solving it myself normally. In one of the drawers in the basement, the one that I did click on, Kyle finds a lockbox with a letter inside. At the end of the letter, something's written in secret code. I wonder what it could be. Well, next to that on the desk is a cipher machine. Pretty handy room if you want to solve puzzles. It's a classic setup, a cipher to solve and a cipher machine. However, also on the desk, Kyle finds a blank piece of paper. He picks it up and says, it's paper with some weird ink on it. How can I read this? Well, Kyle, after sifting through game FAQs for a while, I've learnt that you can read this using the UV light you got from the Christmas tree you put up in the storage room. Oh, you didn't know that was a thing you should have done? And you saved over your previous save file? Ah, kind of in a pickle then. I assumed, which we all know you shouldn't do, that this paper was some sort of key to solving the cipher on the letter. So rather than using my brain at all, I had a healthy scroll through game FAQs. I found out, like I said, that you can see what this paper says using a UV light that I didn't have. A little worried I couldn't proceed, I then learnt about a special trick. Apparently, on the original DS, if you tilt the console so you're looking across it, you can see the message on the paper in the scan lines. I love forums. Where else would I have learnt this? Now, the problem I faced with this cool technique is that it only works on the original DS. I played Hotel Dusk on my 3DS. When I played this part of the game, I was at the hospital with my grandparents waiting for my granddad to get a scan. I was sat there for ages next to my grandma as nurses and doctors and the general public went past, tilting my screen around trying to see anything other than a blank piece of paper on it. I am a fool. I learnt after this that what shows up on the paper is the number you set the cipher machine to in order to move all the letters up and create actual words. I was right that the solution was on it. If you were to input 15, all the letters in the code would be moved up 15 in the alphabet. The number, and therefore the code, is different every time you play the game in a different file. Everyone's file is different. Kind of another pickle. After briefly despairing that I had been so blindsided by the game being pretty much linear and giving you access to everything you need for each puzzle while you're doing it, only to lock you in a room without an item you seemingly need, I realised that it's actually very easy to just work it out yourself. Here are my mad scrawlings from my notes app as I worked it out myself. It's actually kind of a worse puzzle in every way if you use the paper. It just gives you the answer. I feel like it would be better if it just didn't have the UV light thing, but as always, I'm just delighted by stupid adventure game stuff. Hey, it ties in the Christmas tree. My number was 15. It was fine. I'm pretty happy I looked it up though, because the idea of people getting their numbers by looking through the scan lines of their DSs really delights me. I do own a regular DS, but I don't know if I can bring myself to play the whole game again just to see if at the end I can tilt the DS to get my answer. I'll never know if this actually works or not. I haven't seen it with my eyes. I've just read about it. I think it's good to keep some of life a mystery. This was also an occasion where I tried blowing on the screen. I guess in the hopes that if I blow hard enough, the writing will appear. Listen, it didn't work. I think that's just my default response now to a puzzle I don't know how to solve. Oh, to be trapped in the boyfriend basement with Kyle Hyde. What a wonderful place to be. I'll treasure my memories of the basement forever. Now, this next one is a puzzle that I did not do, so this is Stolen Valor. I'm sorry everyone, I did not use the vending machine. This is so unlike me. Get me a room at Hotel Dusk and I'll spend all my time, the whole night at the vending machine. I'll pay any amount of money. When I went to the hospital to get diagnosed with PCOS, shout out to people with PCOS, I got the biggest bag of crisps afterwards that I've ever seen in my life from a vending machine. It was so expensive. I wouldn't recommend you go and get a very invasive procedure done just to buy hospital snacks, but they were good. Anyway, I read on my good friend gamefaqs some speculation that if you use the vending machine, you get a special ending. Now, I don't think that's true. It did make me laugh, though. I'll never know. Once again, I'll never know. I don't deserve it. I didn't use the vending machine. PSA, always use the vending machines everywhere you go in case you get the bad ending. The dehydrated ending. Okay, now that I'm watching the long play, I can actually see what was in the vending machine. Was that in there? I thought it was drinks. I'm so upset I didn't get this rabbit. I have now learned that the purpose of the vending machine is to give Melissa a gift. I'm so sad. I want to give Melissa a rabbit. This is so cute. She's so happy. This last one isn't a puzzle for anyone in the world but me. Bowling with Louie. How am I even bad at bowling in a video game? It's not fair. I swear it took me like 5 tries not to gutter bowl it in a hallway. I'm so embarrassed. For a single, horrifying moment when I kept eating shit in this mini-game, I had a thought. Is the game gonna make me play the bowling minigame until I get 3 strikes? Have I soft-locked myself by being so extremely bad at bowling that I can't even do a bowling minigame on the DS? Thankfully, Louie breaks a vase and I'm free from bowling purgatory. Thank God for that. I love you, man. You've always got my back. Do you ever get thirsty? I feel like that's something I hear a lot these days. I know I do. Think of a flavor. Any flavor. Got one? Think of another flavor. You ready? Smash those together. The world isn't ready for this drink, but you could be. Here is your warning. This product is not real and you cannot drink it. It doesn't exist, but you can subscribe to my Ko-fi and look at this 3D render of it instead. You might also like to view this flat image of the can. All of this can be yours for as little as a $5. Or you could like screenshot it, I guess. Welcome back! We're in the second half of the video now, so brace yourself for more in-depth spoilers. You'll never unhear them, they're crazy! They're not that crazy, to be honest. I'll be talking about my takeaways from the game and its writing by going over each character in a bit more detail and then pulling out specific themes through which I can yap about how it made me feel. We're getting sappy. The character sections are mostly so that you have context for the themes, otherwise it would be a bit confusing. With all that being said, Hotel Dusk is a game about being a good neighbor. Also a game about being a bad neighbor. Part of why I decided to title this video Hotel Dusk is a lovely game is that it's ultimately very kind to its cast. Hotel Dusk might be a game about crime and corruption and a million missing people, but it's interested in the humanity in those things. It's a game about people affected by crime. Families, friends, even strangers, bonding over past tragedies and moving on to the future, even when those tragedies feel all-consuming. It's a lovely game. It's sentimental, and populating this lovely game is a cast of silly, annoying, endearing strangers for Kyle Hyde to pester into revealing their innermost trauma. What did the manual call them? Deadbeats, liars, and thieves. I love these deadbeats, liars, and thieves. A couple of them are chill. Is Mila a kid? How old is Mila? I don't know. One of them's a kid. She's fine. She's not a deadbeat, a liar, or a thief. Leave her alone. Melissa's wonderful. Anyway. Every character in this game is connected to the others in ways I found really cool to uncover. It all felt very natural, apart from when Kyle barges into people's rooms to demand their darkest secrets.
Just tell me about your missing wife!
Here's my little list of the things I liked most about each character. If a character has one, I'm going to be showing you their little instruction booklet profile as we go. There's only a few on there, so it won't be many of them. Don't you miss instruction booklet? I've already talked about this. I'm so obsessed. Do you remember when they used to put paper ads for other games in the box? It felt so cool and special. I miss it. I miss it. We should bring it back. Ed is the owner of the company Kyle works for, and Rachel is Ed's secretary. Throughout the night, Kyle gets calls from them to chat and go over information. I think the role they play is really interesting because it would be easy to conceptualize this game without anyone on the outside to talk to. There's something so comforting about checking in every now and then with Rachel, and Ed when he's there. The phone calls bracket plot events nicely and set you on new paths. Kyle doesn't have a phone or internet access, on purpose, and it's the 70s, so he relies on asking Rachel to find information for him. Maybe I'd prefer that to the internet. I'd love to have a Rachel on the phone. That's a lie. I panic when people call me. I just presume something bad's happened. Stay safe, everyone. Apparently on a second playthrough, which is essentially a New Game Plus in all but name, Rachel will be more familiar with Kyle and speak in a more friendly way. That's cute. I don't know if I want to replay it all just for that. I looked up Ed on the Sing Wiki to check some details and encountered one of those spoiler warnings. Spoilers for what? I presume the next game. I just stopped looking. Apologies for my Ed thoughts not being super in-depth. It's been a little bit now since I played the game as I'm writing this, and I don't know exactly what I remember is true and what isn't. I'm scared to look further into Ed. I want to say he knew Kyle when he was on the force, but I forget if he was a cop or not. I don't think he was. I'm sorry, fake Ed fan. Maybe I'll give Rachel a call and ask her to look him up for me. Now, everyone else in the game you meet has an arc with Kyle that ends in them spilling their biggest secrets to him. I've been referring to them as character breakdowns. I'm going to be telling you generally what's up with each of them while giving my thoughts and feelings. I'm not doing a play-by-play of the game's chapters. I'm giving you the Elk Notes version. Please do not refer to Elk Notes if you're doing exams. I'm not liable if you get bad grades. This is your final spoiler warning. Kyle Hyde is a great character and a particularly strong main character. I loved being in his head while playing this game. You're walking around with Kyle, sure, but you're never really in control of him. My example of this from earlier is when he gets a choice between no and absolutely not. I took a physical picture of this when it happened, but could not for the life of me find it while scrubbing through the long play. Thank goodness I documented it like a true journalist. Kyle was fired from the New York police when he got a call about his partner Bradley and rushed over to the docks to shoot him. Pretty reasonable firing. We see this play out with no context at the start of the game, and every subsequent chapter gives us a little more about the two of them and their history. Kyle's big motivation is to find out why Bradley went rogue and betrayed the Force, and where he went. The overall story combines each character's separate puzzle piece to create a really satisfying whole image, in my opinion. Most of the characters are strangers, but their stories intersect, and Kyle is the one who links them. He's the one with the knowledge of Bradley to make everything fit and understand the whole picture, and he's just enough of a nosy bitch to see it through. That's the thing I found most enjoyable about Kyle Hyde. He's nosy and completely unapologetic about it. Maybe we should all be a bit more like Kyle. We'd probably get arrested. Business owners hate to see Kyle Hyde coming. He should get into hotel reviews or, like, undercover boss. Kyle is an example of the extremely good trope, guy who keeps saying they hate other people when they clearly care about other people so much. His relationship with Melissa is so wonderful to me. That's his daughter now. Mila felt similar, honestly. Kinda Louie and Jeff too. Collecting ducklings. I'm such a sucker for Kyle ending each chapter by talking to Bradley. It brings everything full circle. This game is so romantic with its cliches, and I extend that especially to the more melancholic topics it covers. There's a lot of waiting and yearning in Hotel Dusk. Kyle's definitely a yearner, and without Kyle, how would I have learnt the phrase dry gulching? Truly a role model for the ages. I don't even know if I'll be able to find it again in long play. It's just stuck in my head from when I played it and read it. You'll just have to believe me. I'm done helping people. Okay, guy with another game about helping people. Get back to me on that. Louis has been through it. He got arrested, his best friend in the world was murdered, he works at Hotel Dusk. Now it actually seems like a great job, I'll be the bellhop, put me in there. We learn that Louis was arrested 3 years ago by Kyle for picking pockets on the streets to make ends meet. Truly an American hero, Kyle, thanks. Apparently Kyle gave him a new lease on life and he got a job at the hotel. This is the only character Kyle meets there who isn't a stranger to him. He kinda acts as Kyle's detective assistant while he digs up everyone's past trauma and explores the hotel. They're fun together, I like when they chat. Louis used to be involved in big crime, stealing for the crime syndicate Nile I mentioned earlier. Kinda evil and scary. He and his friend Danny hatched a plan to steal Nile's art assets and become rich. Surely a plan that will end well. Danny got a little too ambitious with it and instead of just going for the angel painting decided they would steal all of the art. Turns out, an undercover Bradley is the one who killed him. Louis walked in on him shooting Danny and stealing the angel painting. See, maybe he'd understand if he had context. Oh, poor Louis. Louis is a classic bro character. He's chatty and fun, he loves to play games, he's constantly talking about how hot women are. That's cool, man, good for you. Thing is, he keeps hitting on Mila. You know, the one I kept thinking was a kid. It did alarm me every time he did it. I think it's mostly the art style. It's also kind of like flirting with a door. Give it a rest, man. I think Louis is delightful otherwise. I think it's easy to forget he has a pretty damn traumatic past leading up to his employment at the hotel. I love a goofy character with a melancholic undertone. A sad clown. His real passion is being the bartender at the hotel when the bar opens at night. He takes it really seriously, even makes his own brand of matches for it. How does he do that? It's the 70s. Enterprising king. The matches also serve as optional puzzles that, to my knowledge, you get no prize for completing. Just the joy of doing a puzzle. Thank you, Louis. Rosa's wonderful. She's probably the least intense character in terms of tragic backstories and big reveals. We learn through a classic Snoop session that her husband is a sailor, and we know that her son lives in the city and is pretty well off. She's adamant that she makes her own living despite having a rich son, an attitude that reminds Kyle of his own mother. Momcore. Kyle's also shocked that in her old pictures Rosa is stunningly gorgeous. Once again, a stupid coward. I apologize for him. For a moment I thought Rosa was secretly Mila's mother, completely forgetting that she has a son that she's mentioned already. Hey, it's fun to theorize. Rosa's cute little expression when she's excited or flattered is so endearing to me. I love this, and I love her. She's a really nice constant in the game. She pops up all over the place while cleaning and chasing up Louis to do his chores. She's reliable, you know where you stand with her. There's a moment later on where Kyle and Louis get clocked over the head and pass out, and Rosa finds them and tells them to man up about it. Rosa, I have a concussion. She would have tagged it. I want to sit on the kitchen counter and talk to Rosa. That sounds like a good time. Most of my childhood was spent sitting on kitchen counters. It brings me back. She'd probably tell me to get down, like chase me off with a broom. Jeff Angel is in room 213. Trust. I fucking knew immediately he planted that money in Kyle's toilet. I knew it. So, Jeff Angel is, to nobody's surprise, a rich kid who stole from his dad and ran away with no plan. Gotta rebel, you know? Actually, Jeff has a pretty decent reason to rebel against his dad. Turns out the guy's working with Nile. He overheard a meeting and decided to do something reckless to punish his dad for it. Little did he know it would end in him getting lectured by Kyle Hyde. How embarrassing. Jeff stole money and a gun from his dad and came to Hotel Dusk in a panic. He hid the money in Kyle's toilet, the bowl bit, the bit at the top, prompting another classic wiggling mini-game, and the gun in the laundry room hamper bin thing. I checked there by chance when Kyle goes looking around for the gun. By the way, you've got to check everything in an adventure game. I had reached that point where I was like, I don't need to look at everything, it's just flavor text. You do! Anyway, Kyle finds the gun and the money money and snoops around in Jeff's room for fun. He finds Jeff's ID and learns that his name is actually Jeff Damon, which is the real shocker. I think Jeff's fun. He's another little link to Niall and someone for Kyle to give advice to. He's the runner-up in the random beef with Kyle competition, losing of course to Iris. I love their bitchy conversations, another frenemy. At the end of his story, Jeff decides to turn himself into the police to take accountability for his actions. All I could think while this happened was, God, what a waste of everyone's time. You're rich, go home, start a charity, become a drama YouTuber, literally anything else. They didn't have YouTube in the 70s. Start a newspaper column about crime. Expose your dad's corruption. Change your last name to Angel. Maybe I'll steal that. Elkin Angel. The concept for my little mascot character is a friendship cupid, so that kind of works. Helen Parker is in room 212. Oh my god. Helen says to Kyle that she has some dear memories of Hotel Dusk and then refuses to elaborate. God, I love her. Whimsical old ladies are the backbone of society to me. I was once sat on a bench at a busy market while my friends were shopping, and an old lady came and sat next to me and told me basically her whole life story. Helen reminds me of her. She didn't have a sick eye patch though. Anyway, Kyle finds a pen with the initials AP on it and wants to know who it belongs to. In a roundabout way, Kyle learns that the pen belongs to Helen's son, Alan. She gave it to him. He was a writer and she hasn't seen him in 10 years. Helen's story isn't related to Niall or involving a criminal father or anything like that. It does still have a kick of weird. When Helen was a younger woman, she wanted to be a magician. She craved the limelight and the cheering crowds, and it was her dream to pursue it. She says that she got married and her husband convinced her to leave it all behind, but the bug stayed. The magician bug. They had a son, and they lived like that for a while until the thoughts of returning to the stage got too overwhelming. She decided to leave her family behind and run away to become a stage magician. Her story is so Ace Attorney to me, it's crazy. When Helen talks about all this now to Kyle, it's with a thick layer of regret. She abandoned her son as a child. She says that the thrill of chasing her dreams faded quickly, and she just felt empty. 10 years ago, the last time Helen saw her son, that was at Hotel Dusk. They had dinner together and he told her that he was close to achieving his dream. He had made something he was truly proud of, a novel. And then, as she says, they went their separate ways. She's surprised to know that nobody's heard from Alan since. Kyle learns separately that he's gone missing and tells her, "That's certainly a high level of estranged. Oh, my son went missing. Crazy." I love a regretful old lady character who's lived a life, and Helen's story is the one that actually ended up surprising me the most. Child kidnapping and theft and shootings? Nah, the running away to be a magician backstory is the one that made me gasp out loud. Helen's story is a quiet tragedy, one completely of her own making. She can't take it back. She can apologize, but it doesn't fix what she did, and now she doesn't even know where her son is. For me, it's the self-loathing that makes her interesting. She chose to pursue her dreams at the expense of being in her son's life, and she regrets it every day. It's glamorous showbiz. It's sad and pathetic. When people say they want pathetic women in media, I hope they factor in old ladies. They've been alive for longer, they have more room for regret. Big fan. Please tell me about your favorite pathetic and tragic old ladies in the comments. It's probably gonna be a lot of crime drama people. And when I say old, I don't mean middle-aged. People are obsessed with calling middle-aged people old. Then we have Summer in 211, which is Honor, apparently. Summer's a real tool. More of a nail file than a hammer though. If you remember from my brief introductions, he's a famous writer known for a novel that got very popular and resonated with the public. The Secret Word. He's since written some other novels, but nothing has seemed to live up to the success of his first. We find out that Rosa's a fan of his, and she even calls it the only one worth owning. Ouch. See, the truth is, there's a reason Soma can't write another instant classic like The Secret Word. While trying to get his autograph for Rosa, Kyle notices that his handwriting is different from the manuscript of The Secret Word he'd been mistakenly delivered. With all the subtlety of a herd of wild hogs, we learn that Soma famously writes the ER in his signature differently. Through this, it becomes clear that the manuscript isn't written by him. He's a plagiarist! Boo! Cancel him! Remember the pen I mentioned Kyle giving to Helen? The one with Alan's initials on it? I was kind of being cheeky there. The pen didn't appear out of thin air. Soma had it. I think you can join the dots here. The Secret Word was actually written by Alan Parker, Helen's son. I wasn't sure what order I wanted to do Helen and Soma in because of the pen debacle. Soma claims it belongs to him, but obviously the initials don't match. He tries to tell Kyle that Soma is just a pen name. Obviously it isn't. This is the order I ended up with. This way we ramp up the reveals, you know? Soma met Alan at a cafe. They started talking as fellow writers and became friends. How lovely. They were both reporters and the same age, pretty similar people. They even had the same dream, to be a famous novelist. Where Alan's passion for his dream was burning hot, Soma's had atrophied. He had basically given up on being a novelist when he met Alan. He tells Kyle that he lacked a muse or any sort of inspiration that would make him want to write. When he read Alan's manuscript for the book he was writing, he was blown away by it. He succumbed to a growing jealousy and, in a moment that would change their lives forever, he stole Alan's manuscript from his desk. I presume they had become friends at this point and his desk wasn't in the cafe. Like those little desk trays we used to have in primary school. Alan was planning to submit his manuscript to a contest. Soma took it home, typed it all up, and submitted it as his own. This isn't some copy-paste shit like you get these days. This is real honest plagiarism with a typewriter. Jesus. He had time to think about it. As I mentioned in Helen's section, Alan had previously met his mother and told her about being nearly done with his masterpiece. After being betrayed, he wouldn't be seen again, not by anyone Kyle knows anyway. Soma ruined his life, stole the one thing he was most passionate about, and rendered all of his hard work void. Soma vows to Kyle, when he's fully found out, that he's going to tell his whole story to the press the next day. He's coming clean about his plagiarism and betrayal. Better late than never, I guess. In Soma's closing letter to Kyle, he says that he's going to pen a masterpiece novel of his own without cheating. How nice for him. He's even going to write the protagonist based on Kyle. Congrats, Kyle! You're not supposed to like Soma, of course not, but I think he's a really effective character. He's certainly stuck in my mind. Soma, like Jeff, is a thief. He's one of the thieves from the manual. He's regretful of what he did to Alan, of course, and it didn't end up helping him in the long run. He can't live up to the secret word. But I don't think I'd be alone in thinking that he doesn't seem that torn up by it. He's let the lie spiral, he's trapped in it, but it's very much a prison of his own creation. In the end, he's able to march forward. He's coming clean, yes, but the tone ends up feeling quite hopeful. I think the characters who create their own doom are the ones I like best. He hasn't given up on his dream like he said he did when he was younger. Through all of this, his passion for writing has sparked again. Is that fair? Does he deserve another chance? It doesn't matter. The future public will be the judge of that. We won't see it. Or maybe we will in the sequel. Don't tell me. I think he's a really interesting addition to the cast, and I always love when artists tackle the topic of plagiarism in their games and writing. More on this in a bit. I'm absolutely not done. I want to do kind of a subsection about Alan just to commiserate. This poor guy. Alan never appears in the game, Kyle never meets him. There's no closure for Helen or Summer about Alan in the morning, but the two of them are some of the more optimistic characters when it comes to moving forward. They make a promise to find him. Who knows if they will? Who knows if he'd even want to see them again in the first place? I don't think I would. Rosa tells us that the secret word is about a man who commits the perfect crime. He does so to get revenge on a friend who betrayed him. I know writers who use subtext and they're all cowards. No, I genuinely love this. It's perfect. She says that critics called it a gritty descent into the darkness of the human soul. It's a thriller, basically. We never get anything more than this, other than praise of Alan's prose and attention to detail. I like when stories include a fictional masterwork, and Hotel Dusk includes two. I think the less you say about it, the more believable the work is as an incredible piece of art. You know, you can always imagine it being better than anything you could conceive of. They hint at its contents, but it's only supplemental to the actual story we're following. The topic just relates to the reality Kyle's learning about. It's cheesy. I love it. I think Soma had best keep his wits about him. I don't rate his chances if he encounters Alan again. No, what we learn about Alan's personality from Helen is that he's actually a very forgiving person. Alan's probably the most innocent of the adult characters shown and mentioned in the game. I wonder if he's mentioned in the last window. I guess I'll find out. Melissa and her dad are in room 219, Bravery. Kyle meets Melissa on the stairs up to his room and she immediately makes an impression. I love this kid. Over the course of their conversations, Kyle learns that Melissa and her dad are at the hotel to see her mother. Melissa knows that they're not actually going to see her and feels that her dad lied when he said she could. It culminates in her saying that she hates him and running off. Her dad, Kevin, calls her a brat, and so does Kyle, and so does the wiki. She cannot catch a break. Melissa's parents fought constantly, leading to her mother packing up and leaving before the events of the game. Right before she left, Melissa tried to confront her about the fighting and yelled at her to stop. Melissa has a lot to be a brat about, in my opinion. Her parents were fighting all the time, and then when she tried to do something about it the only way a kid really can, her mother left. She tells Kyle that she thinks it's her fault. Obviously that's not true, but nobody in her life has had the presence of mind to reassure her about it. Her dad's been so preoccupied with his regrets that he basically ignores her or treats her like a nuisance. Good thing Kyle Hyde is here to be her dad instead. Our encounters with Melissa sometimes entail some sort of game or puzzle to make her happy, like doing her jigsaw or fixing her doll. When I was a kid, I had a book of dog puzzles. On every page there was a puzzle to slot into the book. Have you realized the problem with this concept? It's a format that forces you to do a puzzle. Every time you close the book, all the puzzles fall out. I've spent more of my life than I'd have liked doing the same dog puzzle over and over and over again. Hey, why don't you stop opening the book? Also, the puzzles fall out if you even look at it. If you wiggle it, they all fall out. It's a witch's cursed item. Anyway, all this to say, I don't like jigsaws very much. The idea that you have to flip a finished jigsaw like a pudding cup to find a secret message makes me want to cry. I would not be finding that message. It upset me on Taskmaster, it's upsetting me here. Melissa's lucky Kyle was there. You can't flip a jigsaw, it's pieces. They'll just fall out. On the bottom of Melissa's jigsaw, Kyle finds a message for her. It says, "Goodbye, Melissa." This is a fucking horror game. No, it's a message from her mother, Grace. She left the puzzle for Melissa when she went away. She never said goodbye in person, but this small gesture means a lot to Melissa. It means Grace didn't leave without saying goodbye. God, this sucks. I feel so bad for this poor kid. Throw that puzzle out the window and go and stomp on it. Melissa's one of my favourite characters in the game. Seeing her pop up always put a smile on my face. I think her animations are particularly effective too. She just looks like a cool kid. This jacket? Okay, fashion. We're having a brat new year. Being a parent seems really hard. Kevin is at Hotel Dusk with his daughter Melissa because he's looking for someone. many such cases. In this case, it's his wife who left. We know that much. We're getting into the meat of the game with this one, so strap in. Kevin's wife, Grace, worked at an art gallery called Gallery May, and he himself is a doctor. Years ago, Kevin lost a patient in surgery, and the family sued for malpractice. They won, and Kevin just couldn't possibly have paid the money. It was an impossible amount. I forget if they say the exact amount, I don't think they do. A squillion. He asked Grace for a divorce because, as he says, it was his mistake. He didn't want her to be affected by it. She obviously said no. I mean, I think it's a nice gesture. I just also can't imagine abandoning someone I love because they're in debt. Me too, bitch. It's university debt though, it's different. I didn't kill someone in surgery. I probably would if I tried surgery though. Grace was determined to keep her family together. She told Kevin she was going to get that money, and then she did. The lawsuit was paid. Kevin has no idea where the money came from. Even as he's talking to Kyle, he doesn't know. She wouldn't tell him. She was everything. So true. She certainly was the moment, but the moment has passed. Kevin says that it made him love her so much, but he stopped trusting her. One of my very close friends works in and around the theatre, so I can confirm with certainty that this plot is very local theatre tragic marriage play. I've definitely read the synopsis on a poster that's like a crunchy PNG of the Mona Lisa or something. Kevin kept starting arguments with Grace about the money, demanding to know where it had come from and generally not trusting her. After Grace said that she wanted to stay together forever, is a bit of a kick in the teeth. She called it a price they paid to stay together, which is very ironic. The implication is that the constant fighting is what tipped Grace over the edge to leave. She made a sacrifice to keep her family together, and now her family is falling apart. I'd imagine she felt that it would only harm Melissa if they kept arguing. When Melissa screamed at her, she must have realized how much it was affecting her and decided to do something drastic. I know this is all very like you're listening to someone on the phone behind you on the bus. Like, family drama you're not a part of. But stick with me. Kevin says to Kyle, she left because of me. It clearly haunts him, as does not knowing where the money came from. In Kyle's confrontation with him where all of this comes out, Kevin's drunk. He's very honest about how conflicted his mind is. Grace leaving put Kevin into a depression. When we meet him at the hotel in the present, he's bitter and unpleasant. He's also seemingly uninterested in what Melissa's doing, until she gets into trouble. Then he's there to whisk her away. He's been looking for Grace for a while. The reason he and Melissa are at Hotel Dusk in the first place is that he found a matchbook from the hotel in her purse. Now, Louis wasn't working there at the time, so unfortunately it's not Louis's matches. But hey, if it happened further along the line, it would be. Now, I'm British, I don't know what Japanese writers speaking through American characters mean by purse. To me, that's a wallet. I find it hard to believe she'd leave that behind. I presume Kevin's talking about her bag. It's even crazy to me that you wouldn't bring your handbag with you either. What if you need a tissue? Or pseudocreme? Or lip balm? You can't leave your family without lip balm. The lecture Kyle gives Kevin isn't about his wife, it's about his daughter. He's the only family Melissa has left. I guess Kyle forgot about grandparents. And he's been so caught up in his depression spiral that he's become a shitty dad. He tells him that he can fix things, he just needs to be more present in Melissa's life. Focus for now on what you have. So true, Kyle. Iris is in 216. Success! How nice. Iris hates it here. Why would someone like Iris be staying at Hotel Dusk? That's generally the first question we have about her. She thinks it's musty and old and weird, she's not happy with the service, she's annoyed by the kid running around, she's annoyed by Summer. She's real for that one. She and Kyle don't get along at all, and throughout the game their conversations have this bitchy overtone that I really enjoyed. Like I said, lover frenemy, nothing more reliable. It takes some convincing to get her to open up to Kyle, but when he finds a tape she lost, she ends up spilling. Iris is an actress, and her stage name is Cecily Lee. She's even the cover model of this cool magazine that Kyle has for the whole game, presumably for the express purpose of showing people and seeing what funny thing they say. I forget if this is even relevant to anything. I showed it to Summer so I could go ew about whatever he said about it. Not disappointed there. I swear in the silver case there's also a random bikini model magazine. It's like right at the start of the game. Am I going crazy? I'm right in the middle of that game, but I stopped playing it because I got to a really slow part and I forgot to save, so I have to do it again and it's been months. It's haunting me. I've got to go back to it soon. She's at Hotel Dusk because she's been asked to do something by someone she cares about. See, she does have a soul. She's been asked to deliver a tape to the person who paints angels at Hotel Dusk by her sister. Iris's sister's name is Grace. That's right, she's Melissa's aunt and Kevin's sister-in-law. The game specifies that they are half-sisters technically, but that's sisters to me. Sisters is sisters. Sisters is a state of mind. When Iris was a kid, she and her sister lived in their mother's car. Their mum saw a lot of different men and they didn't have a stable place to stay because, according to her, their mum's boyfriends would steal their money and force them to move. She was basically raised by her sister. In 1960, Iris and Grace's mother died in a plane crash. Remember this. Their mother's comically evil boyfriend of the month took the compensation money and put both of them in different orphanages. Is this the most upsetting backstory? I hadn't really thought about it all laid out like this. It sucks. Anyway, Iris got adopted and then ran away. Her parents had bad vibes. She wasn't feeling it. We skip a little bit to Iris at 20 working at a diner. Grace walks in and they recognize each other right away. See, I told you, sisters is a state of mind. They catch up and it turns out Grace is doing very well for herself. She's working at an art gallery and engaged to a doctor. Surely that's going well still. Iris felt ashamed that she wasn't doing great in comparison and the meeting spurred her on to chase her dream of becoming an actress. She started taking roles and worked her way up to a respectable level of fame. Quite some time later, Iris met Grace again. This time, Grace had found her from her magazine pictures. Famous! Now, I know this might come as a shock, so brace yourselves. Grace had kind of a problem. I told you that Grace had raised the money to pay off Kevin's lawsuit and then left home after they fought about it. She actually came to Iris to ask for the money at first. Obviously, Iris was doing better than she had been, but she didn't have that kind of money. She was concerned that her well-put-together sister was in so much trouble and refused to help her, so Grace apologized for asking an impossible favor. She just wanted the comfort of seeing her sister again. We get a very dramatic picture in Grace leaving and then after a moment Iris going after her. She didn't want to lose her sister again, but Grace was gone. The last Iris heard from her sister was through the mail. Grace sent her a letter telling her to go to Hotel Dusk and bring the enclosed tape, packaged with the letter to, again, the man who paints angels. Extremely my shit. I kinda wish this game was from Iris's perspective with that as the premise. It would be a totally different game. I can't be the only one who was convinced she was Melissa's mother for way too long, right? This is a picture of her, right? I know they're sisters, so they look similar. I know her name isn't Grace. I just believed. I felt like such an idiot when she revealed that Grace was a person she knows and not some sort of alter ego. Also, Melissa would have definitely recognized her. Don't look at me.
Have you seen my dad?
Mila is in Rosa's room, which doesn't have a number. No symbolism there. I found Mila really amusing whenever Kyle and I encountered her in the hallways and wherever else. The game frames her very significantly. She's wearing Bradley's bracelet. Kyle wants to know why. She's mysterious. She won't speak to you. Mind you, I don't know if she's wrong for that. Kyle's out here asking where her dad lives. Don't tell strangers where your dad lives. Protect dads. Like I said, Mila is apparently 20 or 21. I'm 22. Despite being basically the same age, I was really thinking of Mila as, like, Melissa adjacent. I think it's because she acts like an awkward, shy kid. The way she acts makes a lot of sense when you know what's up with her. In fact, she kind of is a kid still. Let me explain. Mila's story is predictably quite tragic and sad. I feel bad for her. She hasn't actually got to live a whole lot of her life. See, she just got out of a coma. Without revealing the whole of the next character's story, I'll give you a mysterious and vague version, with details to be filled in shortly. Mila experienced something tragic at Hotel Dusk as a result of her father's shady dealings and fell into a coma for 10 years. When she woke up, she went back to Hotel Dusk to look for her father as the only person she knows about in her coma brain. Mila is mute for the majority of the game, and when she does eventually start to communicate verbally, she speaks quietly. I can't really give any insight into how coma patients act, but once you learn her story, her behaviour does make sense. Poor girl's going through it. Mila is a character we keep coming back to over the course of the game. You just know she'll be involved in the endgame when you see her for the first time and she gets the dramatic zoom. In the final confrontation with the next character on my list, guess who it is? She's there in the room to get her own answers and closure. She seems very resolute throughout the game about finding her father. It's literally all she has to hold on to of her life before the coma. It's really lovely to see the other characters like Rosa and Kyle looking out for her and interested in helping her find her father. It's heartwarming. Rosa gets really excited when Kyle says he'll help Mila look for her dad. It's really sweet. We won't talk about Louis. She's allowed to stay at the hotel for the night until the staff can work out what's up with her, basically. I think the thing about her that makes me laugh is that she just seems so awkward. She's a lurker. I don't blame her. She's surrounded by a lot of big personalities and dealing with a lot. Can you imagine the brain fog a coma patient would have? Get back to me in a week about my dad, Kyle. I'm busy staring at this fruit painting. I know this isn't true, but it's very easy for me to imagine Mila as no thoughts, head empty all the time. Her ass does not give a shit about this conversation. You got games on your phone, Kyle? It's the 70s. Probably not. You'll have to wait till 98 for Snake. Oh my god, no wonder Kyle spends all his time wandering around bugging people. Look at this. Just two people living in the moment, not a phone in sight. It's kinda awkward. Mila is such a fairy tale character to me. A lot of the stories in Hotel Dusk feel like individual fairy tales about hubris and misfortune set against a realistic backdrop. Well, realistic enough. She stands out as well because of her design, the minimalist look with the white dress and the choker. She looks like a ghost. Trapped in time, I like it. Apparently, Mila's also wearing turquoise shoes. I did not realise. Just got out of a coma, gotta reinvent my look. Make a dress out of hospital bedsheets. Post-coma fashion crisis. Are there nurses for fashion emergencies? I know you're jealous of my NHS socks. I still wear them. I got them like 4 years ago and I threw up all over my own feet. Good value for our taxes. The only thing I got from the hospital last year was a bag of crisps and a prescription. Oh, when I went to my granddad I got some disgusting coffee, so that too. I should have those vending machines for trinkets like they have in Shenmue. Why is my reference point for that Shenmue? They have those in real life. I just want a tiny Sonic while I wait for my granddad to get scanned. Is that so wrong? Mila doesn't even have money to use the vending machines. God, she gets sadder and sadder by the minute. It's okay, Mila, I'll buy you a huge chocolate bar and then we'll split it and feel sick afterwards. Dunning is a tragic character that I ended up loving by the end of the game. Are you ready for arguably the game's main reveal? Okay? Okay. We're told by Dunning himself that he bought the hotel 5 years ago after saving up for a while. This is a lie. Dunning, you see, was an art student in his youth, so he couldn't have afforded that. Me too, I was an art student. I bet you can't tell. At art school he met a man named Robert Evans. That's Mila's dad. The two of them went their separate ways afterwards and had daughters. So, like me, he went to art school, but unlike me, his wife died in a plane crash in 1960. Oh, thank goodness I dodged that bullet. His wife died in the crash and so did Evans's, reuniting them in tragedy. Now, I'll have you recall about 2 characters ago I asked you to remember something. That's right, it's the same crash. Can we just talk about the amount of women dying in plane crashes in this game is alarming. That's Mila's mom, Jenny's mom, and Iris and Grace's. If you're a mother in the year 1960 watching this video, do not go on a plane this year. This is a dire warning. Just wait it out. Even then you might go missing. It's scary out there. After reconnecting and commiserating, Evans, having been an art gallery owner for years, brought up the idea that Dunning should try and get his artwork out there like he'd always dreamt of. The perfect time is when you're grieving your recently deceased wife, I think. They hatched a plot to make Dunning's work famous by pretending that it was actually made by a dead and forgotten artist, Osterzone. Osterzone, not real, fully made up. That's Dunning's secret alter ego. Using his art world connections, Evans made the myth a reality and Osterzone became a famous painter. Dunning kind of achieved his dream. Yay! Aren't you happy? Look, even the criminal network Nile is into your work. Look, they want you to paint paintings for them to sell. That's great. Why aren't you loving this? Niall got involved with Evans and his gallery, and Dunning became caught up in the criminal underworld because they were profiting from his paintings. Evans actually bought Hotel Dusk. Hotel Dusk? What's wrong with me? Evans actually bought Hotel Dusk so he could use it as a base for their art crimes. It kind of sounds like fun, to be honest. Get me in there, I'll paint you a million anime angel girls opening any type of door. I'm in. Trapdoor? You got it. Anyway, one night Dunning decided he would put his foot down and refuse to paint for them anymore. Because of that, Niall kidnapped his daughter, Jenny. That poor kid, honestly. Jenny got kidnapped, Mila went into a coma for years. It's so hard to be a girl in, I forgot what year it is. That's why Mila went into a coma, by the way. She got smacked by a gangster or something. Literally just trying to play with our toys, let us live. Do you remember from the puzzle section that Dunning's daughter Jenny was missing? Yeah, all of this is why. A bit dramatic. After all of this, Dunning had continued to paint for Niall in the hopes that they'd return his daughter. After 3 years of that, Dunning says that he hit rock bottom and decided he wouldn't paint anymore after all. He says, I was even thinking about breaking my hand so I couldn't paint no more. That goes hard as hell to me. Evans told him to wait at the hotel for Jenny to someday be returned to him, so Dunning renovated the place and opened for business. Evans never came back to see him. More on that in a minute. I think by way of being the keeper of the game's main secrets, we only get a little chunk at the end of the game with Dunning revealed as Osterzone. I think he's great, but obviously I'm gonna love a tragic artist. He hits all the marks for me. Hotel Dusk is his prison. His paintings are up all over the place, reminders of what he's lost. Cursed to lose all the women in your life, fate worse than death. Osterzone, a man who paints angels. The painting, Angel Opening a Door, is a painting of Jenny. A masterpiece created with passion because the artist was suffering. Great passion creates great art that resonates with people. Characters whose passion leads them down a dark path are so fantastic to me. And a painter who ends up hating art so much he's willing to fuck his own hand up so he physically cannot paint anymore is devastating in a way that makes my brain light up. Do you know what I mean? Once again, a fairy tale. The way Dunning's story is handled exemplifies the game's approach to tragedy. It's melancholic, it's painful, and it happened years ago. All you have are memories and the hope that you'll see your loved ones again. Life moves on around you, but here you are, trapped in the past. You can only wait. Everyone else in the game is able to move forward with something resembling hope, no matter who they've lost or what they've done. Dunning feels different. Nobody else is stagnant like he is. What's he supposed to do? Where's he supposed to look? In some ways, I think Dunning is the other side of Summer's coin. He's the friend who was betrayed, whose life was ruined by their art. Their circumstances are different, but their stories echo each other in ways I find quite pleasing. They both wanted the same thing: recognition and fame. The way this game discusses art and the people who make it is one of my favourite things about it, but I will save it for the theme chat in a few minutes. I knew he was an artist anyway, it was the outfit. Another quick thing, when you're going down to the basement through the wine cellar, you get knocked out by Dunning, and the wiki says that he hits Louis and Kyle with, quote, an object, which tickled me. Nothing in particular. Just did it with his fists. I thought I'd slide in a Grace section here now that you know the deal with Osterzone. It fits, like a bunny puzzle with a secret message on the back. Bringing up the rear of the Woodward family is famous missing person Grace Woodward. Yay! Grace, like Bradley, is haunting many narratives but never actually present in the game. She's a more active missing person in the story than Alan. We learn about her from Melissa, Kevin, and Iris. She seems like a cool person, actually. Before things went wrong, she was a really good big sister who took care of Iris and loved her family very much. She did, quote, a terrible thing for them. That's love. How did Grace raise all that money? Iris couldn't help her, she didn't have the exorbitant amount Grace needed. As an employee of Evan's art gallery, Grace ended up knowing about the Osterzone secret. Presumably, seeing it as the only way they'd be able to pay Kevin's impossible lawsuit, Grace came to Osterzone, Dunning, and demanded that he paint her something she can sell, presumably on the black market, involving Niall. She threatened to expose his secret and, thinking that she might know where Evans had gone, he painted it for her. She took off, and he never heard from her again. Or Evans. From there, it seems like she got the money and refused to tell anyone she loved where it had come from to keep them safe and away from Niall. She was obviously very ashamed of it as well. She fought with Kevin about it and eventually decided to leave her family when the fighting got too bad. Skip town, Kyle says. She wanted the tape with the evidence of Dunning being Osterzone on it to be given to Dunning. Not that it seems very incriminating, there isn't any context. This is just audio of someone asking for a commission for free. Embarrassing, yes, but not necessarily criminal activity. That's why she has Iris go to Hotel Dusk. She's clearly keeping an eye on her family from wherever she is. This is another of the missing person plots that don't get closure. Like Helen and Summer though, the Woodwards and Iris leave Hotel Dusk in a better place than they started. They have each other now, finding family in seemingly random places. Grace is someone who's fallen from Grace. Not that I think this game has an Ace Attorney naming convention or anything, I just think it's a nice name to give her. She handles every situation that comes her way rather than taking the easy path out, and looks after her loved ones the best way she knows how. Even when things are going badly, she'd rather spare them from any mention of criminal activity. That's Grace. I thought I'd add in a little Bradley section at the end of my character opinions here. I don't have a boatload of thoughts about him in comparison with everyone else, but I love how his disappearance frames the story. There's something about a character being so present despite not even being there that really gets me, haunting the narrative. While not even dead, that's talent. Everything we learn about Bradley is second-hand, half-told in rumours and memories. He's an enigma that Kyle is desperate to solve, so I'm going to lay most of it out here. If only Kyle had asked me from the future with access to the Sing wiki. Save him some time. All of the other stories have been a combination of my memories and sliced up clips from the long play, but this is going to be the most supplemented by the wiki, so apologies if this seems like a bit of a rewrite. I'll give you the major beats. Years ago, Bradley went undercover in the criminal organisation Nile to look into their art theft. There he met Robert Evans, Mila's dad and Dunning's friend and art gallery owning bad guy. He told Bradley that his little sister had been kidnapped by Nile. In exchange for her safety, Bradley would have to give police secrets to them. Evans was basically a member of Nile. He then became an informant for them and learned all about Dunning and his daughter in the process. During his time at Nile, which I guess in my mind is now a building, Nile HQ, he encountered everyone's favourite painting, Angel opening a door, and fueled by the shared pain of having a family member kidnapped by Nile, he decided to steal it. On the way out, he shot another member of Nile, that happened to be Danny, Louis' friend. Are you feeling how small the world is again? It's nice how everything slots together. Maybe not so nice for Danny. Sorry. After that, he found out that his sister had been killed. Once again, a lot of his story is told in the tone of a legend, so all we know is that he seemed to believe that Evans was responsible, so he decided to hunt him down, making hinged decision. Then we get Kyle confronting Bradley at the docks and shooting him for his betrayal. He didn't know anything about Bradley's sister. He didn't understand why Bradley had been a double agent. Bradley ended up tanking the shot and falling into the river and being fine. Well, probably not fine, but he survived. He went on to visit Evan's daughter Mila while she was in the hospital in a coma. Now, get ready for this part, it's silly. Bradley's sister was also named Mila. You wouldn't think it'd be that common of a name in New York in the 60s, but hey, lots of Italians and Polish people. It's a lovely name. That's why Bradley had a Mila bracelet. It's a different Mila. They named their kids Brian and Mila Bradley. Sure, why not? Bradley visited Mila while she was in a coma and gave her the bracelet, presumably feeling sentimental about his own Mila. That's why she has it at the hotel when Kyle sees her for the first time. Bradley definitely killed Evans after giving Mila the bracelet. I fully forgot about this implication, or maybe it just went over my head. When I read it on the wiki, I went, oh, of course. The idea is that he went to see Mila so he could lie in wait for Evans as he paid her a visit. There's a lot going on in this game, it's a lot to keep track of. Once again, something awful happens to Mila, completely outside her control. At the end of the game, it turns out that Bradley was the mystery client who had Kyle sent to the hotel after all. He wrote Kyle a letter and put it in the box that he was there to find in the first place. It's in your inventory the whole time. I love it. I love it. It's so silly. Extremely my shit. The tone is kind of a haha, oh you, like the end of an episode of Murder, She Wrote. Maybe I love this game because it reminds me of Murder, She Wrote. Get Jessie in here. She'd probably kill someone. Tangent. My family's running theory about Murder, She Wrote is that Jessie did all the murders and she's a master criminal. People die wherever she goes. It can't be a coincidence. I only want a reboot if that's the premise. Anyway, I think having a character in the background tying the other stories together is such great framing. He's the piece that finishes the puzzle, and Kyle has it. or him, I guess. Having him leading Kyle around like he's revealed to have done at the end is really delightful to me. It fits the tone nicely. It's cheeky, like a wink to the camera. Do you see what I mean about the murder and tragedy being very distanced from the main gameplay? The game's interested in how these things are dealt with after time passes, their effects on the people left behind, the emotion after the high-octane moments. In his letter, Bryle... Jesus Christ. In his letter, Bradley tells Kyle not to look for him anymore. He's a ghost now. It's perfect to me. None of the missing people are shown on screen during the game. We'll get back to this when I talk about endings, I have thoughts. And I really think that works. Once again, forget about me and move on with your life is a very romantic sentiment to me. I don't love love, I love melancholy. Let's get into themes. These are the things that really stuck out to me as I was playing the game and then stayed with me afterwards. Hotel Dusk is a very mundane game, and I do mean that as a compliment. It's a game filled to the brim with families torn apart by lies and crime. Its themes are certainly intense on paper. Like I said before, the writers are interested in the human element of crime. The game handles every character with such honest curiosity and care, despite Kyle being such a gruff guy. This game dredged up some feelings for me about strangers. People you don't know. People you pass on the street. The receptionist at the doctor's that you exchange 2 sentences with. The old guy who shoves past you at the train station and makes you spill your drink everywhere. Those assholes. Here's my first theme claim. Hotel Dusk is a game about strangers. The world can be a lonely place. When you become an adult, it can be kind of a slap in the face. Oh, it rhymes. Oh no. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I guess Hotel Dusk kicked up all these feelings I've had floating around for a while. I think the relationship shared between strangers and acquaintances is a weird and special one. My parents always tell me I live in Animal Crossing or something. I seem to have weird random interactions with strangers quite frequently. They're usually harmless, but they leave me either laughing or baffled, like the man who came up to me at night while I was stroking a cat, chuckled and said, "Why do women like cats?" I did not have an answer. I still think about it. But they're right, that's such an early Animal Crossing thing to say. They'd pull up the, scale for if women or men like cats more. Kyle is constantly walking up to strangers at the hotel and asking them 20 questions. He'll grumble and complain about it, but by nature of being the main character of a detective game, he's curious. He wants to know people's stories, he wants to help people. Everyone you pass on the street has things going on in their lives you'll never know about. That doesn't make them any less real, but I think it's increasingly easy to feel distanced from the people around you. The strangers you meet at Hotel Dusk aren't dangerous. There's a kid running around playing, and the most that happens to her is that she tears a doll and her aunt that she doesn't know is her aunt gets annoyed. Weird middle-aged man Kyle takes really good care of her when her dad's getting sad drunk at the bar. She does get locked in that room that one time, but that's an accident. She did that to her. And she gets out, so it's fine. I think Hotel Dusk is quite kind in comparison with other detective media. Apart from the end of the game, Hotel Dusk is not a frightening or scary or dangerous place. It's kind of got noir trappings, which is a genre you expect to be on edge for, but honestly it's quite comfortable. Even when you get whacked on the head, you're fine. Now, I'm not saying you should go and talk to every stranger you see, you might get punched, but I think on the whole we're very overly wary of the people we pass. I think your level of fear about strangers depends a lot on who you are and where you are. If you're a small woman, for example, you probably have a higher built-in level of paranoia than a lot of other people when you're out and about in a city. If you have anxiety, walking down a busy street can feel like a stealth game level sometimes. It's something you learn as you grow up, how vulnerable you are and how to look for danger around you. Strangers feature very heavily in that sort of education. I think if Kyle Hyde approached me in a hallway, I'd be on edge. I mean, they get a bad rep in general. Strangers, not Kyle Hydes. The strangers who come up to you at random in public are usually the weird ones. I feel like the relationships in Hotel Dusk between acquaintances are quite similar to my relationship with my neighbours. I know some of them a decent amount, but we only ever talk when we happen to be in the same place, like taking the bins out. During COVID, we all got a little bit closer because we were around more and sharing things. I remember one day we all came out of our houses to have a distanced street party. That was nice. Could barely hear anyone. It's a shame it takes some sort of tragedy for people to reach out like that. That's just how it is, though. People keep to themselves most of the time. It's hard to breach that bubble. Whenever my next door neighbour smiles at me, I get so pleased with myself. It's ridiculous, I barely ever see her. Hotel Dusk as a setting ensures that a group of strangers are crammed together in one space and interact often. Funnily enough, it's a very murder mystery setup. It eases into a kind of small town feeling where you can go and visit people for updates and solve minor problems for them. By the morning, you know all these people quite well, over the course of one night. Kyle's a prolific friend. All of the characters are connected quite neatly in ways they themselves don't know. Summer and Helen, Kevin, Melissa and Iris, everyone and Niall. It's like when you meet someone and realize you went to the same school or something. Or I guess your mutual friend went missing. That one's less likely. Getting to know people is one of the many gambles of life. You might meet someone and immediately get bad vibes, like with Iris. Leave her alone, she's going through it. You might talk to someone like Summer for 10 minutes and they won't stop talking and you really want to go, but you can't. I remember meeting people at university and being terrified of them. Really funny thought now that I know and love them. I met some of my best friends during a fire alarm. Feels like you need some sort of inciting incident to break the ice. Pulling the fire alarm to make friends. I didn't do that. It was a real fire. Strangers can delight you, they can annoy the shit out of you, sometimes they can do both at once, like the old man who stood up at the bus stop to bang on the door and demand we be let on early. Like Summer spouting off some stupid quote that doesn't mean anything to Kyle, who isn't listening anymore. Strangers can change your life. They could become a close friend. You could exchange 2 words and never see them again. I remember a few months ago I had just got off work and sat down at a cafe with my friend, and there was this old lady who was just staring at me so intensely. She was like boring a hole in the side of my head. I kept hiding behind stuff and behind my friend, which is hard because I'm quite tall, because I had just drained all of my talking to people energy. Usually I would just say what's up, but I had it. And eventually when I gave in and met her eyes, she pointed at my bag and got really excited about my bag charm. I was like, I love it. Having it be something so mundane and sweet after like 5 minutes of trying to avoid her just made me laugh. She was harmless, I was just being grumpy. People are alright sometimes. And to that point, we're all just people. You can make quite a good impact on someone's day just by asking if they're alright at the right time, or offering to help them with a little task like, I don't know, helping push a pram up some stairs. Not everyone wants help, but people are often kinder than you'd expect. Maybe that's overly optimistic. Time and place. Talking to strangers is a skill you have to train. I work in retail, I've been training it for a while. I can talk to any old person. Jealous? Please be jealous. I think my moral here might actually be you should smile more. Oh no. Say cheese. That and talk to old people. And be kinda nosy. If you're gonna talk to strangers, make sure you're in a well-populated, well-lit place. Don't go down any dark alleys. And if you do, I told you not to. Hotel Dusk is crammed full of familial tragedy, just like life. A microcosm, if you will. Great word. My sister's doing her GCSEs, we're revising. Wish her luck. Do some spells or something. I swear they're harder than when I did them. I think it would be easy to say that this game has a pretty bleak outlook on family relationships. All the families we're presented with are troubled in some way. I really feel though that there's another layer to this, and for me it's a tonal thing. I think the writers care deeply about family as a topic. Our families are so integral to who we are, whether we like it or not. I think Hotel Dusk wants you to value your family, blood-related or chosen. The people who lose their family members in the game live in deep regret, agonizing over what they could have done differently to keep them in their lives. I don't think Hotel Dusk presents us with these broken families because the writers feel that positive family relationships are distinctly impossible. It's more, people are just like this. You'd be hard-pressed to find a family without any problems. We're all human. That's not a very easy thing to be. Kyle says to Jeff when he comes clean about stealing from his dad that he has to stop being so dependent on him. He has to be an example for his father. Kyle says, "You want the old man to change? You change first." I don't know if that's entirely fair, but Kyle tends to give the most difficult kind of advice and the hardest to hear. Look inward before you ask anyone else to change. To have healthy family relationships, you have to be aware of yourself and how you affect the people around you. It's work. Work that people aren't often willing to do or aware that they have to. It's work that a character like Helen, for example, has realised she must do later in life, when she realises it might be too late, when she feels that only a miracle will allow her to talk to her son again. I think Helen is such a great example for this topic because despite, as she says, abandoning her son, she wants to try and make it right. She has hope that she'll be able to see him again despite feeling like she doesn't deserve it. It's a wish for her, something to turn to superstition for. I think a lot of people have strained relationships with their parents because of some kind of selfish behaviour. Family relationships can be really complex. It's important that Helen is an older lady when Kyle meets her. I feel like when you get older you want more than ever to get closure on things you regret. We never see if she gets it or not. Helen and Grace are an interesting point of comparison to me, because they're both women who chose to leave their families for very different reasons. I think the main difference is that Helen's abandonment was selfish while Grace's was selfless, at least in intention. Helen regrets hers so much, calls it a betrayal of her son. We don't get to hear from Grace, only the people she left behind. In my opinion, she did it partially to spare Melissa. We hear so often that she was always saying she loved her family, how desperate she was for them to stay together. I feel like, as she's described, she'd only leave if she saw no way to fix things. Both are tragedies, one caused by selfishness, the other by desperation and anger. Both have a child they abandoned. I presume from this picture Alan was a similar age to Melissa. With Grace, Kevin shares the blame. Their situation spiraled. Helen's husband barely gets a mention. Try being a cool magician next time, I guess. There are a lot of scorned and abandoned children in the game. Mila, whose mother died and father caused so much strife to everyone around him. Jeff, whose father got involved with Niall. Melissa, whose mother left because of an unfair situation. Alan, whose mother left to pursue show business. Iris and Grace living in the back of a car, then losing their mother completely. Jenny, who got kidnapped and taken from her father because he was involved with Niall. While we have a few important absentee mothers in the game, we do have one sort of absent father in Rosa's husband. He's a sailor, like I said, and Rosa seems fed up with him. She says she hasn't even seen him for at least 5 years. That's crazy. She doesn't even know where he is. Rosa is the character whose personal history is least related to the main plot, but the inclusion of her husband and son in passing mention is a conscious addition to the spectrum of family shown in the game. It's no wife dying in a plane crash, but it is sad. Rosa doesn't really see her family often. It's mundane, and I feel like it balances out the more far-fetched scenarios. It's the kind of story that makes you want to call your parents. Louis talks about his friend Danny like a brother and mourns him like family. The loss changes him. He wants to know why it happened, who did it. For me, this counts as one of the family ties in the game, another tragedy to add to the pile. There are also a lot of dead women in this game's past. Iris and Grace's mother, Dunning and Evan's wives, Bradley's sister. I'm trying to think of more. I think that's it. Their losses leave their loved ones completely lost. That's bad. That's really bad. I need to change that. Their losses leave their loved ones grieving, and Iris is really the only one of these people who's doing alright in the game's present, not without a great deal of effort on her part. Hotel Dusk depicts loss, particularly the loss of a family member, as something that leaves you realistically vulnerable. Families are a push and pull of forces. We don't control each other, not when we're adults anyway, I hope, but we do affect each other greatly. In Hotel Dusk, family is a messy and volatile thing by nature. We will hurt each other, and yet, characters care so deeply about their families. It's what drives them. I love the way we get similar stories twisted differently in Hotel Dusk right next to each other. It's not immediately obvious, but the amount of implicit commentary about families really stacks up. A collection of cautionary tales all rolled into one game about staying in a weird hotel. A woman blinded by starlight drapes her coat around herself and takes off into the night while a young boy watches on from the window. A doctor makes a costly mistake and is saddled with impossible debt. His wife makes a sacrifice to pay off the debt and then disappears. He doesn't know how to tell his daughter that she's gone. A young man listens and seethes outside of his father's meeting room and vows that he'll do something to stop his shady dealings. He doesn't know what. Two men, close as brothers, hatch a clever plot to swindle their way to the top. In a dingy warehouse, blood runs liquid and hot over the hands of the brother who holds the other in his arms. After visiting a sleeping girl, the shadow of a man snuffs out another. It's revenge, he reasons. In a hospital bed, a girl wakes up alone and blinks around at an empty room. In his dingy basement prison, an artist's hand shakes as he mixes colours for his next painting. The building above him is silence. Welcome back, A-level poetry. This one goes out to my Carol Ann Duffy heads. Hotel Dusk takes place over the course of a single night. Kyle works hard, he crams a lot in. I have a few thoughts about how the game presents time as a topic. In Hotel Dusk, the tragedy has already happened. The nature of a detective story is to trace past steps anyway, but Hotel Dusk is very much about crimes and misdeeds that happened 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. A while back. Time doesn't heal all wounds here. Of course it doesn't. Time marches on past your tragedy, and it's up to you to keep up, even when you're grieving. I think a lot of this game is about waiting, for someone to come home, for revenge, for something, anything to happen. Nobody likes being bored, feeling time stretch out impossibly in front of them. A lot of these characters are caught in time. When you finish a project or a task, what do? You start the next one. Life goes on. I think part of this game's philosophy is just that. Life goes on. When applied to a character like Dunning, it's quite bleak. He doesn't take a very active role in his own story anymore. Life goes on, and all you can do is wait. For someone like Mila, who has already been such a tremendous victim of circumstance, it means that her life can start again. And that's not necessarily a good thing. You just got out of a coma, your dad's dead, life goes on. What are you gonna do about it? It's kind of equally bleak. She has nobody and nowhere to go but Hotel Dusk. She's waiting for something to change because so much of her life has been outside of her control. She wants to find her dad but has no real way to do that. So, she waits. Now, I want to shift from the natural passage of time to a little discussion of how characters spend their time. I think quite a lot these days about the concept of wasted time, probably a consequence of how fast-paced life seems to be. Any time I spend playing games like this one is also time spent feeling at least a smidge guilty. That's not how life should be. You could say that Dunning is wasting his time waiting for his daughter at the hotel. You could say that Jeff is wasting his time rebelling against his father. You could say that Iris is wasting her time delivering some stupid tape to some guy she's never met. You could say that Kyle is wasting his time talking to anyone at Hotel Dusk. And yet, they're all here. They're all stuck at some sort of crossroads, wondering where to go and what to do. Life is all of those inconveniences, that friction when you're going from A to B. The through line, in my opinion, is that they all do these things because they care deeply about something. They each have a driving force. It can be as simple as curiosity and as intense as a burning desire for revenge. Inconvenience doesn't matter when you care about something. Iris might complain about her stay at Hotel Dusk being a waste of time, but she's still here to try for her sister. The people you love make it worth the hassle. Expression is very important in this game. The rotoscoping makes sure you pay attention to every little motion a character makes when they talk, emphasizes their pauses and sighs, and the time spent wringing secrets out of each character feels quite natural because of it. A whole lot of time was spent making the art for this game, and then remaking it when it wasn't quite right. I think it's a genuine marvel of craftsmanship. A lot of my playtime was spent just admiring the look of the whole package. The art, the writing, the music, the footstep sounds. I really do hope everyone who worked on it was satisfied with the work they put in, because it definitely paid off. Well, clearly, people are still talking about it today and marveling over how unique it is. I don't see so many people talking about again. That's rude, I haven't played it, I'm sorry again. The real people are kind of scary and off-putting. I think I should give it a try just because I'm being mean to it. I think the work of the artists and everybody else who contributed to this game really makes the writing about how you spend your time feel true to life. The writers clearly care about this topic and feel a lot about it, and that's probably why they present us with people who spend their time in ways that you might not necessarily think are worth it, but to them, they're absolutely worth it. I feel like people who make art are extra sensitive to pondering how well spent their time is. We're going beyond the characters again, I'm crawling out of your screen. Make some room on your carpet. I have long legs like a spider, I need kind of a lot. Sometimes you spend weeks on a piece of art and hate it afterwards. Sometimes you finish something quickly and feel like you haven't spent enough time on it. I don't think I'll ever be satisfied. I don't think many people are. If they reach satisfaction with something, they don't stay that way. We're always chasing it, that pride in ourselves. I think it's important to take the time to be proud of what you've made. Life isn't the end result. It's all the time you took to get there. Once again, it's all the inconveniences and tragedies, all the stupid jokes and redoing art again and again and again, and still not being satisfied. We don't live at the end of our lives. Stick that on a t-shirt. It probably already is on a t-shirt, let's be honest. Kyle spends time with all of these people, and through that they open up. Even if he doesn't like someone like Soma, he's still rewarded with the truth for talking to them. He puts in the time and as a result gets closer to his own answers, but along the way he ends up helping people. For someone like Soma, time is something that catches up with you. With time, his betrayal is revealed, as it always was going to be. He couldn't keep up with his lie, and Kyle sped that process along by spending time with him, and bugging him and stuff. I think Bradley's presence exemplifies the cyclical nature of time in the game. He expected Kyle to investigate Hotel Dusk a certain way. Bradley was confident that Kyle would find the secrets he'd hidden and unravel his case. He just needed the time to do it. In time, the truth will surface. Time is something we're subjected to. No matter how fast or slow anyone feels like it's going, we all feel it passing. What we do with it is what makes us us. You can always change, but you have to make that happen. We don't all have a Kyle to spur us on. On that note, I think other people are often the thing that make us want to change. I think there's a kind of sunk cost fallacy on bad behaviour. If you've already done something bad, why try and change? You've already set off down the path. Hotel Dusk shows a lot of people who have wronged others or made mistakes becoming determined to change by the end. I think that's important. It certainly resonates with me, because of all the crimes I've done. I think the implication with Helen, Soma, and Alan is that Alan will forgive them when they find him. That's not something that happens in the text of the game, of course, but Helen tells us that Alan was a forgiving person. Too forgiving, perhaps. This makes me feel like the writers are reaching out of the screen to shake me by the shoulders. It's never too late to change, even if you think you're a lost cause. Helen wants to have a good relationship with her son. Soma wants to apologize for betraying Alan and come clean. These things can't undo the damage they did to him, and they aren't owed forgiveness for making the effort, but they're both still resolute about it by the end of the game. You can change. You can make amends. Or at least, it's always worth your time. Hotel Dusk's presentation of lies that spiral out of control is very human to me. I think rather than simply saying that it's bad to lie, Hotel Dusk presents lying as something that people just do. It's part of the human condition, and there's a scale of intensity. Lying doesn't make you a bad person, but Hotel Dusk takes the stance that it's a choice you make that will come back to bite you. Everyone in the game who lies is suffering as a result. Melissa hating her dad for lying about going to visit her mother, for example. Kyle says it best himself. When you lie, you usually get caught, and then you gotta pay. Even if you think a lie is helping, it usually ain't. Someday that person will learn the truth, and you'll have to look them in the eye. Well said, Kyle. There's a good spectrum of reasons that different characters lie. Dunning and Summer each lie in different ways because they want to be famous for their art. Kevin lies to his daughter because he doesn't want to disappoint her, and he's kind of going through it. Grace lies by omission. She refuses to tell her loved ones that she committed a crime to raise enough money to help them. Jeff Angel lies because he really wants attention so bad. In Hotel Dusk, telling the truth allows you to live freely. Summer isn't forgiven for his plagiarism and lies, certainly not by Kyle or the game, but by telling him the truth he's able to move forward with a new resolve. Kevin and Melissa's relationship improves when he's honest with her, even though his lies came from a place of love and desperation. It's really difficult to know how to talk to a child about serious situations, but Hotel Dusk takes the stance that it's best not to lie and spare their feelings. Kids are people, they know when something's up. He tells her in the morning that her mother loves her and that's why she's going to come home someday. Optimistic, yes, but he's not lying to her that she's going to see Grace anytime soon. Melissa just seems happy her dad's being her dad again. When Jeff tells the truth about his theft and escape from home, he's able to make a firm decision about his future, however stupid Kyle and I may think it is. I think something that contributes to him feeling so juvenile is that his wrongdoing is recent. It's not buried years ago like most of the other characters. He's able to make things right quite soon afterwards if he puts the effort in. Kyle essentially saves him from spiraling like the others. Hotel Dusk is a nest of cautionary tales. Dunning's lies about his identity in the hotel being revealed don't free him from trauma and regret, but having everything out in the open allows Mila to move on with her life. She needs the truth from him, even if it's uncomfortable. The truth will come out eventually. Detective games are all about finding the truth. It's a release of tension. The game feels satisfying while also being bittersweet. I think the writers did a really wonderful job towing that line. You could say that Dunning is also freed from his pain in the true ending, but I have some thoughts about that. Something optimistic, lovely game. We'll get there. So it turns out this game is about this nightcore anime girl painting. It's now time for my most passionate segment, the art bit. Since this game's director is an artist and oversaw so much of its visual presentation, I feel like we get quite a personal perspective on art. For as long as I can remember, ever since I played Dragon Quest IX for the first time, I've been fixated on Angel media. What I'm saying is that playing this game was a happy accident for that part of me. Hotel Dusk is a game about a painting, Angel opening a door. Kyle finds the painting at the end, brought home to Dunning at the hotel by Bradley. Dunning had covered it up with white paint, which Kyle manages to remove without damaging the painting underneath at all. Get this man on that restoration show they took off the BBC because of some sort of crime. Oh my god. I don't know, I was shocked when I looked that one up. Moving on. The hotel itself is full of paintings. See earlier's silly apple puzzle, because its owner is a tortured artist. Don't you just hate when you have to get a day job? The game's cast is full of people whose lives revolve around and are touched by art. We have our plot about Osterzone and the art gallery. Art is a commodity, something that can make people very rich. Dunning, the tragic artist. We have Helen, who left her family to chase her dream of becoming the greatest magician in the world. She could still do it. We have Iris, whose decision to become an actress made her successful and independent. We have Louis, who loves being behind the bar and feels like it's his true calling. We have Summer, the plagiarist writer who can't make anything that lives up to his stolen novel. And we have Melissa, my favourite artist in the game. Osterzone is quaking. These are all art to me. In Hotel Dusk, art is magnetic. A lot of these characters' lives revolve around it. Art is expression. Art makes dreams come true. Art brings people together. Art can make you a lot of money. Art can ruin your life. Quite often, for some reason, those last two go together. Who would have thought? Something monetizing your hobby ruins your brain chemistry. Contrasting Dunning and Summer is interesting to me because they're both famous for their work, but that work makes them miserable. We have an artist who's driven to hate painting so much he's willing to break his own hands. We also have a writer who's so terrified of mediocrity that he steals from someone he supposedly respects. I think there's something to be said for artists in the game being portrayed as almost superhuman. Being skilled enough to make art that resonates with people seems like a revered power that everyone's reaching for. They achieve a kind of mythical status. Osterzone is dead. Alan is gone. Are the artists in the room with us? Everyone wants to buy into the legend of Osterzone. Alan's writing is so fantastic and touching that it can't be cynically replicated. People are inexplicably drawn to these masterpieces created with passion. The way Summer talks about Alan's writing is really interesting to me. He says that he can't write anything nearly as good, that Alan just has that spark that he lacks. He has something to say, he has the juice. I'm paraphrasing a bit. Summer is similarly in awe of Osterzone, which he expresses in his typical faux intellectual way when Kyle asks about his bookmark, which is a picture of Angel opening a door. I think it's a really neatly, subtly drawn link between the two stories. Summer is presented as a leech. He can't make art that's considered good. He can only watch as others do and admire them for it. He can only be jealous. He's jealous not only of Alan's work, but his passion. For me, I think that's the most important part. Summer met Alan at a low point in his life. Seeing someone be so caught up in their craft is difficult. He says, "I prepared to let my dream wither and die." Very melodramatic. I appreciate it. He is also a writer after all. Whether Summer struggles to make anything that resonates because of his lack of passion or because of some innate lack of talent is kind of up to interpretation. He had given up on his dream before he stole Alan's work. His passion, his drive, was gone. He says, "I was incapable, I had no muse to guide me, no words would come." In contrast, he says that Alan had not abandoned his dream, in fact, he was totally consumed by it. You could say that his punishment for his theft is being unable to write a book people like. It's a bit Shakespearean. I don't know that that's what the game's going for, but it's an interpretation. I'm much more into interpreting than theorizing, so, you know, I think talent is kind of a shaky concept anyway, but I acknowledge that some people start out with a knack for something. That's the variety of life. Everyone takes to different things, it would be boring otherwise. That doesn't have to steer your entire life, but people often enjoy the things they find come naturally. Passion is something that drives you to build skills. Nobody's a master writer the first time they put words to a page. If the desire to make good art stops you making any art at all, what's the point in even pursuing it? It'll only make you miserable. Just make it. It doesn't have to be good. It just has to be. Also, you should watch this video. Watch it like 10 times back to back. Internalize it. Losing your passion as an artist, and a writer is an artist, is genuinely awful. Learning to come back from that is really important. Some people, like Dunning, don't. The exploitation of art in Hotel Dusk takes the joy out of it, and in real life. Once Dunning is forced to make it, he starts to hate it. It's no longer for him. His most popular painting is made in grief, a painting of his missing daughter. That pain creates a passionate piece. People call it mysterious and theorise about what it might mean. Dunning just hates it. He covers it up when it's returned to him. It could be said that the most tortured people create the most incredible art. People really resonate with deep emotion, and it comes through when you make art. It's the legend that ruins both of them. Neither can live up to their own image because they're both built on lies. I think the game is saying implicitly that art should be created honestly. I wonder how this could be applied to real issues in the world relating to art right now. I have a friend who draws robots so naturally and incredibly. I would always peek over his shoulder in awe when he was working on a project with machines in it. The forms of man-made structures don't come naturally to me at all, and I have to twist the way I think about machines to make anything that doesn't look like a spore creature. Not that that's not a skill in itself. Please hire me for Spore 3? How many spores are there? I think that's jealousy. There's something about the way each of my friends draws that captures me that I wish I could replicate. But I'm not him. I'm not any of them. They're my friends and I love them. I love the things they make and what they're passionate about. Acknowledging that I want to learn to do what they do has only ever strengthened my art when I've swallowed my pride and just told them how much I love their work. I think feeling jealous is normal when you're surrounded by people who share your passion, and the healthy way to deal with it is to just be honest. Ask people to teach you things, draw or write with them. Not to be all Care Bears about it, but truly, sharing and working together will make art more fulfilling. You might find a new passion in doing so. Now I can draw robots just okay, and that makes me happy. And when your friends do things with you, tell them that you're proud of them. It really does go a long way. Sometimes the people you love can really demoralize you. It happens. You can't let that affect your relationships in the long run. You have to acknowledge it, swallow it, and keep going. If someone's your friend, it's because they respect you. Respect them back. Don't steal their manuscript. Don't lock them in your basement and force them to paint for your criminal enterprise. I know I've been tempted before. Art is expression. Dunning's dream is to be a painter because he loves it, a dream that withers and dies when he's forced to do it. Alan's heartfelt work is stolen and he effectively stops existing, at least in the story. As long as Summer is pretending to be someone he's not, he can't make anything worthwhile. Helen pursues her art form at the expense of her family, and she lives to regret it. I think I like these stories so much because while they're tragedies about artists, and I love those, they also feel so fairy tale to me. Dunning forced to paint because his daughter's been spirited away, Alan disappearing because of Summer's betrayal. Like I said, even Helen running away to become a magician. People led down a dark path by their dreams and desires. Poor Alan. Everyone in his life has been achieving their dreams at his expense. I wonder where he went. A lot of the pain caused to characters in Hotel Dusk is based in their desire to chase their dreams, actually. If we're to pull a moral out of it, I think it would be one about greed, about weighing up your own desires against the things you already have. If achieving your dream means trampling someone else or leaving them behind, it's not worth it, and you'll be made miserable. If you're dishonest about it, you'll come to regret it. Or you'll get rich and famous, I guess, and who cares about being sad if you have loads of money? Ignore that one, ignore that one. I forgot to say, I'm actually the famous painter Da Vinci? Yeah, I did all those. YouTube's probably a better deal though, these days. Ow, my ear. I can't believe I made a joke about the wrong painter. I've got fucking Da Vinci on the brain. I deserve all your vitriol. Fake artist. Ugh. What do you mean the painting is just an anime girl holding a key? I didn't see the key when I first saw the painting, so I honestly thought she was doing the thing from the Matrix with the pills, and I laughed. Most famous painting in the world, Y2K Nightcore Anime Angel says let's take ibuprofen together. Oh my god, it was foreshadowing. I love this game. Nothing they could have shown me would have lived up to the idea of like the best, most resonating with everyone painting in the world. I don't know, it's just a painting. Everyone loves anime people, right? The ending I got on my playthrough was Kyle making his rounds, saying goodbye to everyone at the hotel, and then leaving to go on a road trip. Take some time off work, Kyle. Treat yourself. You deserve it. We tap the door to walk through it, and we see Mila on the road, just like when we got here. It's cyclical that way. Apparently I got the Mila ending because I headbutted her back to life that one time, so she's coming too. Now, I have since learned that in what's considered the true ending of the game, in which you get no game overs, or play the game twice, game overs are negated on your second playthrough, Jenny appears at the hotel in the post-credits. Yeah, I don't know, I feel like the bittersweet ending I got was way stronger. No qualms about being happy, good for Jenny, you know, glad she's out of her own Sims art basement. I prefer the version of the story where Jenny doesn't show up at the end. It's certainly a nicer, kinder ending, and I'm very happy it exists, but the ending I got just felt really tonally satisfying. You've suffered a tragedy, yet life goes on. Other people around you have a new lease on life and have decided to move forward, but you're still here, still waiting for something to change. It's melancholic. I quite like the idea of multiple endings to just, like, explore a scenario and see where it could possibly go. I think that's a really cool thing that video games can do that other mediums can't necessarily pull off. I think I love Dunning as a tragic character too much. I'm sorry, sir. I simply want you to suffer for art. Which you already have done. Do you know what I would take is if Jenny came back at the end as like a rich art crime mafia heiress. That would be so cool. Your daughter's turned into one of the mobsters she got kidnapped by. Here's my cool rich mobster Jenny fan art. A perfect place to leave the video. Oh, mobster Jenny meeting post-coma Mila and taking her under her wing. Come on. Video games are scared of my Yuri ideas. I'd actually be interested to know if they had a human model for Jenny or if they just free-handed it. I'd imagine it'd be pretty easy to just make the couple frames you need if you're used to the style, but you never know. I think bittersweet is a tone that fits the game very neatly, and it's what I ended up liking most about it. Not everything in life is a puzzle that can be solved with your own two hands. Quite often it's the people around you who help you move forwards. Everyone needs a Kyle Hyde to take them by the shoulders and give them a shake, sometimes. But that isn't always enough. You can't have what you want, but life goes on anyway. With or without you. But if you keep moving to the next place, the next crumbling old building or block of apartments, there will always be weirdos to meet wherever you go. And with that, we return to the title of the video. Hotel Dusk is a lovely game. I really think I came to that conclusion because of the game's optimistic sensibility. Even though I don't like the true happy ending as much as the bittersweet alternative. There are certainly a lot of people online who disagree with me, it's just a matter of taste. This game and its protagonist are all about moving on from bad situations, whether you caused them or not. Kyle's always giving people these lectures about how they should value their loved ones and own up to their mistakes. We see you, Kyle, you love people. I think if you take anything from Hotel Dusk, it would be nice if it was just that. Life can change in ways big and small if you want it to, and the people around you can inspire that change. Go and eat an apple. Or paint one. There we have it. Hotel Dusk as told through my patchy memories and internet surfing episodes. Come for the incredible style and stay for the final, shocking reveal that Mila's tall as shit. Oh my god, I thought she was like 4 feet tall this whole time. Bye bye from the art basement they keep me in to make paintings to sell. I'm thinking they'll probably give my family back soon. That was stupid. I'm having fun. I'm feeling very vindicated by this game's liberal use of the Oxford comma. That's the right way to be. I have tons of stuff I want to chat on here about and lots of practice I want to do for art, so subscribe if you want to stick with me for that. I started this channel to get me focused on projects again, and I've been having a lot of fun with this one. I feel like I got a little bit carried away. That's fine. Now that I've been unleashed with this one, I feel like I can talk and draw and ramble about the things I like forever. Get ready, but slowly. This takes a while. It's worth it. In the future, I'd like to make videos about art theory and how I practice it, but in a very casual way. I feel like the internet is very intense about progress. I just want to relax a bit. It's always good to revisit your fundamentals. I'll see if I can put fun spins on them. I have a series of quite in-depth and personal videos I'd love to make about a particular game franchise. I tell you. So stick with me if you like games about girls running around fields, which is largely my favourite genre. Put Kyle in a dress. Ever Ko-fi if you'd like to support me once or monthly. That's what the mid-roll ad was about. I promise I'm not scamming you. I will only take all your money willingly. On your part, not mine. I'm always willing. I'm also slowly making a webcomic, so I can defrost my comic skills if you want something to check in on every now and then, because it won't be updating often. On that note, see you soon! I hope this video makes you also walk around with a adventure game monologue in your head.